Hey Dark Master 69, how are you going? I'm good, how are you? Just trying to remember what happened in the last stream because it's been like 2 weeks since I last played this. Hey Thick Bus Driver, how are you going? Yes, it's finally time to continue Pentiment. I'm so excited. It's been ages. Decent, I guess. Well, that's better than bad, so I'm glad it's at least decent. So, man, what happened in the last one? It was like, so we're investigating the death of Otto. And then we with our like apprentice slash son figure, and we fell down into like the catacombs, however you pronounce that word. And I think at this point I'm like about to try and make my guess about who killed Otto, and I still have absolutely no idea. So I'm just gonna continue and hope that the game like reminds me. Actually I think there's a little book thing, isn't there? I might just look up a little recap real quick. So we're investigating Otto's murder. Should speak with Father Tom. Oh, that's right, we did the confessions. Didn't they try to force you to choose someone at night? Yes, they did. They tried to force us to pick someone, but then I can't remember who it was, but someone was like, don't be silly, you have until like tomorrow or something. So they basically said you have one more day. But they're clearly pointing out that it's very like urgent. So we went and heard the confessions. But so far, like, the juiciest gossip I've gotten is that the miller and the wife of the innkeeper where we're staying are having an affair. But I still don't know who killed him. I feel like I've seen all of these people. I went to visit, because Leonard is the miller. He's very sus, but I don't know if he did it. The Golden Hand is where I'm staying, and again, I think the game was trying to hint that maybe she was a potential suspect, but I don't think she did it. So going to the forest to find the flowers is when we fell down into the aqueduct. So Idoc. Oh, that's right. So Brother Idoc was having a health issue, but we got the herbs, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, I've got to go bring it to her. Also, Martin Boa is also a potential suspect, like the last one, but again, yeah, he just seemed super confident that he was like a doppelganger or something. That was a really weird plotline. And I think it was weird that he suddenly came back and acted really differently, but I don't know. I mean, at this point, I'm thinking of putting the blame on the miller. Because even if it's not him, he kind of sucks, so I don't really care. Like, what happens to him. Oh no, that's right, we were going to blame Brother Guy. I completely forgot about all of this. So Brother Guy was embezzling from the church. And being really dodgy. We did all of that. Excuse me. So a few people basically said, like, if you have some time, we can go do this thing to learn more information, but then I only had time to pick one of them, and I went and listened in on the confessions. Yeah, right. So the proprietress is having an affair with the miller. We found out that the name of our, like, arch nemesis at the moment is called the Thread Puller. Because we've been finding notes in that, like, purple ink. So soldiers are surrounding Tassing. I have only until the end of the day to finish my investigation. I need to act quickly to convince the mob that the abbot is innocent. Hopefully it's enough to spare the town. Why is it that I spend the whole day feeling completely fine, and then as soon as I start streaming, my nose starts to clog up? BRB, I'm just gonna grab a tissue. I like just started. I'll be back in just a sec. Booger? A booger. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still, like, recovering from the cold. And I think it's when I speak, it, like, makes me realize that I'm actually a little bit congested or whatever. Whereas, like, all day I've been, like, concentrating just fine at my computer. But as soon as I try and speak for the stream, it's like, why is my nose so, like, clogged up? Oh well. So what's this one? Some of the farmers barged into a room and dragged us into the commons. So this was the thing that happened at night time. To demand I give them the killer's identity. The mob was interrupted by Agnes. Oh, that's right. Because someone was, giving birth. Hey, Johnny, how are you going? Fancy seeing you here. It's almost like I was just talking to you a moment ago. Sorry I, like, vanished in the middle of our conversation. I just realized that, I'd set on my schedule that I was about to be streaming, and I had not set up properly. Because I just learned yesterday how to split audio, and I wanted to make sure that all the tracks were working correctly. So you guys can definitely hear me and the game, correct? Just to make sure I've set that up properly. I'm assuming you can hear me. Hey, how are you going, Sukotsto? I have, like, lurked in some of your streams lately. I'm sorry I haven't been chatting. And yes, Pentiment, we're back with Pentiment again. Finally. It's been ages. Don't worry about it, I'll quite likely fall asleep at any moment and be rude as fuck. No, that's fine. I know it's really late for you guys. Right, and so the Duke's Herald arrived. So we're, like, in the middle of trying to solve a murder mystery, but because it's been a couple of weeks since I played, I'd, like, forgotten most of what we'd learned, so I was just recapping for myself, on the clues, and remembered that I was gonna, I'm about to pick the suspect, and do that whole, like, detective story thing at the end, where they're like, it's this person for this reason. So I was like, I should probably remember who I was going to choose, so I'm pretty sure it's Brother Guy. He seems the most suspicious. I don't remember what I was meant to be doing now, though. What is the time? In-game. Where am I? Oh, I don't even know. I've completely forgotten where I was up to. No, that's not the right button. But I really love, one of the things I love about this game is the, like, aesthetic of it all. Where it looks like it's, you know, actually a medieval piece of artwork, or, like, a book with the fonts. And, like, the characters will speak to each other with different fonts depending on their social standing, which is very, very cool. But I have forgotten what I was literally about to just do. Oh, I need to go see Brother Idoc and deliver the medicine, that's right. And it's so beautiful. Like, look at the stained glass and the lighting and everything. Where was Brother Idoc again? He was up in the library, so I have to use the secret entrance, I think, to get there. Yep. Right? Am I not meant to go see him right now? Is that not... Huh? Or is it Idoc's Affliction? Oh, I've got to go see Sister Gertrude. Whoopsie. She needs to make the medicine first. Yeah, it sounds like he's legit having a heart attack or something, and I've just been dilly-dallying. Running around looking for flowers. That's fine. So she'll be in the convent. Where's Sophie? Where's Gertrude? Here we go. Andreas, there you are. I have the curative for Brother Idoc. I hope it is enough to alleviate his affliction. I did what I could with the time and tools available. See how it, like, comes up with the script? It's so cool. And then, like, it'll come up with a couple of typos and it will, like, erase them and redo it, but you can still see a little smudge where the original text was. But because I'm, like, an actual scribe and artist, I have a different font from the nun. He'll appreciate the help no matter what. Of course, of course. I assume that's going to say God? Yep. God bless you and all the brothers in these dire times. I hope this awful outbreak ends soon before any bloodshed. As do I. Thank you for your help. Be safe, Andreas. Give the medicine. I don't. Now we can deliver the medicine. Wait, where do I go? This way. And I've got tea to help with my throat as well this time. Oh, except it's way too hot. Ouchies. Tea. I love tea. I've always been like on and off with tea, but since I started this medication that I'm on now, I haven't been able to drink coffee. But I still want like a drink that isn't water, because just drinking water all the time is boring. So I've been getting back into tea again. I have like a cupboard full of so many flavors now. Wheeze. Brother Idok, I had Sister Gertrude make you something for your pain. Oh. You shouldn't have. The others... what shall I say? Now eat the broth. I'm just gonna say, as you care for others, I must care for you. I feel like time is of the essence here. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Andreas. Oh, I got an achievement. We have free... Oh, for goodness sake. I don't like the Game Pass, like, launcher. The PC Game Pass or Xbox or whatever it is. That's what I'm using to play it. Normally I play on Steam. But this way I could play it for free. Andreas, I never would have guessed back in the day you to be the angel upon Earth. Pardon? I don't think I'm much of an angel. Literally, the plot revolved around, like, at the beginning of the game, the beginning of Act 2, rather, the plot was all like, man, you're such a dick. You just, like, left and ghosted everybody. My wife died and you didn't respond to my letters. Is he sleeping? Rest easy, Brother Idok. I'm hoping he's, like, going to sleep after we gave him the meds because he's feeling better. Also, I just realized that my mic is not pointing in the right spot. I'm a professional. There we go. It's because it was sitting on top of a stack of things, because I don't have one that's like in the wall or whatever. And I removed some of the things that it was sitting on top of, so it was very low. Alright, so we saved Brother Idok, right? Right? I administered the medicine and he seemed relieved. Alright. So, I think the other thing we were doing was talking to Brother Guy. Again, Andreas? What is it this time? Right. Oh, I forgot about that. So the prophetic nun overheard him confessing about something. So I've been basically running around collecting clues, then coming back to Brother Guy and being like, huh, I found this new clue. And then he's like, damn, you did find it, but that's not enough to convince people that I did it. And then I have to like run around and find more clues and come back. So I'm waiting to get to the point where he's like, damn, you got me good. And then I'll be able to tell everyone it was him. Ugh, mystics. Shouldn't she be contemplating the divine or something? And see how his font is different as well, because he's also an artist and a scribe, but he's also like religious, so he gets an even fancier font than me. That church is too small for confessions anyway. True, I was eavesdropping from like the back of the line. And do go on. I found your ledger. That's the Abbey's ledger, and so what? Father Gurnet tasks me with keeping our accounts in order. Yeah. And you're embezzling. Well, they weren't in order. Exactly. You knew if Otto pushed the abbot to show the Abbey's finances, you'd be in trouble. And you think I killed him? I also know about the money you were skimming off the top and sending to the who's? The Fuggers? Are we allowed to say this word? A prominent, extremely wealthy banking family in Augsburg. They held business interests throughout the free imperial cities and a monopoly on the European copper market. There. ... Alright, Andreas, you don't have to tell anyone about this. Bro. Not the abbot, not Peter, no one. You know I didn't kill Otto. Do I? You're the most suspicious person so far. I'm sure it was one of the peasants, scared about what might happen if soldiers came. Okay, sure, buddy. Blame the peasants. I'll give you a quarter of the money once we get out of this, hmm? It seems reasonable? No way. This is Otto we're talking about. He was our best bro. I'm not going to be a sellout. Why don't you tell me what you plan to do with all that money first? What does that matter? You're a bastard guy, but you're not stupid. Or you're a monk. I'm gonna try and flatter him a little bit to see what information I can get out of him. You're a bastard guy, but you're not stupid. You wouldn't do something this brazen without good reason. What a generous assessment, Andreas. Thank you ever so much. I love that it felt like the sarcasm was literally dripping in that line. You're very welcome. Now I'm going to say, are you so desperate for me to tell Father Garnet what you've been doing? ... The money isn't for me. Say more. ... The money goes to help Jewish families who've been displaced or harassed elsewhere in the Empire. Wait, what? No. I regret asking. No, don't make him sympathetic. I'm gonna have to blame someone for murder in a minute, and I have no other suspects. No. They've had their land stolen, business seized. Some have been forced to convert just to keep their lives. Bro. It is cruel. I don't want to sympathize with this guy. I never knew you had such a tender heart of Christian charity. No, I'm gonna go with this one. That explains why you were concerned about the converts being taxed in Provence. I meant what I said. It's not right what's been done to them. Think whatever you like about it, but my cause is a personal one. Why? What does the fate of the Empire's Jews matter to a Benedictine monk? Is he actually Jewish? Not every Jewish family was expelled from France. Those that agreed to convert were allowed to remain. So he's actually Jewish? My family was allowed to remain. The cemetery where their parents and grandparents were buried was sold for £11,000. I can't read that. Tournois? And the Duke of Burgundy used the steles to construct the Sainte-Chapelle of Dijon. Wow. That is pretty messed up, actually. That was more than 100 years ago? I'm not going to be like, get over it. You need a degen redemption? Oh my god, I do. I need to find that sound alert. That's my favorite of Fox's. But it's so expensive. Well, it's not that expensive. It's only 500, but I keep using up all my channel points. Hey, Pika. How you going, bonk? How are you? I was watching you play Genshin earlier. I'm gonna say nothing. Just let him keep going. You're fed? Excellent. That is important. I have tea, and I have more chocolate snacks. Like I said, I got given like 5 giant boxes of favorites for Christmas. I'm slowly... Actually, I say I'm slowly working my way through them, but it's only the 4th of January, and I've already worked my way through 2 boxes. To be fair, it's not just me. I'm not the only one eating them, but still. Maybe I should slow down on the chocolates. But they're just sitting there, saying, eat me. I can't say no. Even if I wanted to pay my respects to my forebears, I could not, because I don't know where their bodies lie. You are quickly working your way through them. I am. Oh well, that's what Christmas is for. Once the chocolates end, then I'll go back to being good again. But for now, I'm gonna nibble on chockies. My family may not be Jewish any longer, but I feel a responsibility to them all the same. Look, see, this is fair enough. Honestly, I understand. I just need to accuse someone of murder and I have no other suspects. Not that I'd expect you to understand that. What's that meant to mean, my dude? He's very unlikable, despite the whole giving money to Jewish people thing. Now, will you take the deal I've offered you? A quarter of the money once we get out of this. Did he say a quarter before or half? No. He's still my top suspect. Because, like, that's a pretty good reason. He's smart. Look at his font. True. But he's the one with the best reason for killing Otto. And, like, all the stuff he said just gives me even more reason to believe it was him. It's like, if Otto exposed his embezzlement, then not only is he going to get punished for embezzling from the church, but also it might expose who he was giving money to and stuff, which could cause more troubles. I don't know. I'm going to say no deal, but accuse him, send him to the gallows, burn him at the stake. Oh no, I just realized the game is a bit... I mean, that's basically what I'm about to do. Curse you, Andreas. I didn't kill Otto. Yeah, I don't know, man. That sounds like the kind of thing Otto's murderer would say. Why should I believe you? Because I'm telling the truth, and I'm sure clever Andreas will find the real killer if he looks in the right place. Will I? I'm not that clever, apparently. One more thing, Guy. Did you receive a note? Yes. I should have destroyed it, but it intrigued me. The handwriting is beautiful, almost as good as mine. I was thinking it was him sending all the notes. Almost as good as mine? Kai, we both know it's better. No, I'm just going to ask if I can see it. I'm not going to be confrontational right now. I need as much information as possible because I've got like 2 hours to choose someone. And now I'm not so convinced it was Brother Guy after all. Certainly, I'm glad to be rid of it. I love the sus music that plays when these notes show up. He knows. He knows and he's coming for you. The rat house. After St. John's fire. If they're smart, they're evil. True. How beautiful that font is, though. Like, imagine writing and then, like, specifically adding all these, like, little dots and lines and stuff to make it even more pretty. Who has that kind of time? I just scribble. There it is. I don't know how the author knew what I was up to, but I admit it startled me. So who's the thread puller then? Moriarty. Who else could have known? What happens if you're wrong? I think he's gonna die. I'm assuming they're gonna execute the murderer. That's what happened in Act 1. I don't want to kill an innocent person. I'm still not even convinced I got the first murderer right. How should I know? Maybe Matteo got suspicious. He's always watched me around the sacristy. Like, but the sacristy was also... blah, blah, blah. I can't say half these words because I've only ever read them before instead of, like, hearing them. But that was also robbed. Maybe there was a clue in there? We probably got it wrong, but who cares? We saved our boy. Yeah, true. Because the first act we were trying to find the murderer to clear the name of our friend, which we did. Assuming we got it correct. And then in this part, our bestie was the one who was murdered, and we're trying to figure out who did it. And if we get it wrong, then the peasants might revolt and burn down the church and everything in it, so... And I mean, I am sort of on the peasant side on this one, but as the game has pointed out, there's now a whole army of soldiers who are ready to retaliate against the peasants. So... Yeah, no, I'm all for revolution, but I do get the distinct impression that the retaliation would be pretty bad. So I don't think it would go well. We don't mind the murdering of innocents? Oh. Yeah, but I'd rather get it right. I also want to know the answer. The note isn't specific. He knows. He who knows what. See, if you told me this in the beginning, my dude, we could have worked on this together. Are you saying it was simply a gamble, a provocation without basis, hoping you kill Otto? We are the greater good. Wait, is that a reference to, oh my god, the movie. Is it Hot Fuzz? The one in the, like, English town? Where they're like, they say for the greater good a lot. And it's like a weird cult. Were you referencing that, or did I just, like, make that up? Lurk? Thank you so much for the lurk, I appreciate it. I know it's pretty late for you as well. No, I just made it up, but yeah, I think Hot Fuzz has something like that. This is giving me Hot Fuzz vibes, to be honest. There's some weird cult thing happening. I'm gonna go with this one. Are you saying it was simply a gamble? How should I know what's behind this? Whoever wrote this knew I was up to something. Yeah, that's so weird. Who is it? I'm so lost. Interesting. Do you mean that though, Guy? We both know we hate each other. But now I'm like... Brother Guy gave me a note he received shortly before Otto's murder. It seemed to suggest Otto knew about the Abbey's financial situation and told Guy where he would be found on that night. So someone knew about the embezzlement and that Otto knew about it and then told Brother Guy in the hopes that he would go and kill him and like told him where to find Otto and where he'd be alone. So someone like set up Otto's murder, right? Ugh. I don't know what else to investigate. Will the map tell me? I've already been to all these places, haven't I? Maybe I'll go again and have another chat. Whomst do I need to talk to? Trying to drink my tea and control the thingy. The page turning sounds in this are so pleasant. Honestly, the like audio in this game in general is very, very good. It's been mixed really well, and you're right, like those page turning sounds are really nice to listen to. It's got some good like background music in it. There was a bit where one of the characters was singing and it was legitimately really good. And even the footsteps just sound kind of nice. Like nothing's too loud or jarring. I mean, I guess, who are our other suspects? We've got Martin and the miller and the lady who runs the inn. So maybe we'll just try talking to those people again and see. Brother Guy is still the strongest suspect. There's the mill. I want to be like sure before I, you know, condemn him to the gallows. Because honestly, if there's a way I can put it on the miller, I'm gonna go for it because he sucks. Leonard. The least, like, just sucks. My least favorite character in the game, I think is what I was trying to say. Andreas, look at this day. Oh, look at all the little sparkles. How do you feel about a hunt up in the mountains? He's still on that? I feel like if I do that though, then time is going to pass and I won't be able to investigate anything else. With soldiers surrounding the town? Are you sure that's safe? They're surrounding the peasants. I think he means peasants. I like the sound of the quill on the paper as well. The Duke knows I support the abbot. I always have. You and I aren't in danger, Andreas. Feels a little like I am. If we want to hunt, we can hunt. Do I want to hunt though? Oh, I don't even get the choice to actually. I just get like polite turning him down or rude turning him down. I'll go polite. I'm investigating Otto's murder. A hunt hardly seems appropriate. If it would help, I can tell you what I know, and I know a fair deal. What do you know? No. Come hunting with me, and I'll tell you. Do I go hunting with him? I don't know. I feel like maybe he's the second most likely person. Martin is kind of suspicious, but I'm thinking he's a red herring. Let's just go. I need more clues. I mean, I don't trust this guy at all, though, is the problem. Wonderful. You'll have to leave the boy behind, though. He'll slow us down. I'm now getting, like, the impression that maybe going off into the woods to be alone with a guy who might be a murderer is probably not the smartest decision I've ever made. I understand. Caspar, you can stay here with Paul until we return. Alright, master. Oh my god, ill. I'm so unfit. I have artist's legs, Leonard. Slow down. How is the climb suiting you, Mela? a bit more challenging than I was expecting. The worst is over. There's only a little way to go. He's the closest to a Yandere ally. I'm sure he'll do fine. Oh, did you see on Discord I've changed my nickname to Una, Queen of the Cage? Because the name Una comes from the Magic the Gathering card, Una, Queen of the Fae. And after the whole cage experience with Toma earlier this week, I figured it was befitting. I did read that. Wait, what's the ... for? Do you disapprove of the nickname or the fact that I like Magic the Gathering? Because I mean either or. Rest for a moment and let me know when you're ready to continue. Or is it just the pun in general? Wait, can I like wander around without him and look at things? Snow in June? In some parts of the Alps, the snow doesn't melt until late summer. It was just reminding me of the cage scenes. That was such a good route. Honestly. Toma's like one of my all-time favorites now. I can see all of Tassing and Kirsau from here. I probably have enough time for a quick sketch. Oh? Despite all of Tassing's troubles, it looks peaceful from up here. Why is this so hard? It's like my mind just wants my hand to stop. Bro. This game can't do this to me after I was literally like 10 minutes ago talking about like creativity and writer's block and stuff like that. It's gonna hit too close to home. Can't even draw something as beautiful as this valley. Useless. What a waste of time. This is feeling too real right now, game. Anything else to investigate? Oh, that must be the soldiers, right? I think that's all I have to investigate. Oh yeah, there we go. Look, you can see the Duke's soldiers getting information around the town. Peter has no idea what he's gotten the peasants into. Come nightfall, it'll be too late. Only if I can't find Otto's killer before then, or you seem rather happy about the whole situation. Yeah, I'm gonna prod him a little bit. I know he's like holding a gun right now. But still. I mean, Brother Guy still seems very sus, but I don't know. After that conversation, I'm starting to think maybe... I mean, he was being honest about, like, sending money to Jewish people. Like, if he's going to be honest about that, why not be honest about killing Otto as well? I recommend a cute Jose webtoon if you read him. A Match Made in Heaven. Ooh, that sounds cool. Absolutely. Send me a link on Discord. And if anyone else, by the way, wants to join Discord, you can join it as well. It does have a bit of, like, an anime game theme to it. Just because that's... you know, what I like to play, but there are plenty of people there who don't play anime games, and we talk about other things as well. Like Overwatch. And anime and stuff as well. Alright, you seem rather happy about the whole situation. I am? What? You're just gonna straight up say it? Okay. It's about time the peasants were brought back in line. Ew, he's just so unlikable. Reminded of the order of things? Dude. Every time he opens his mouth, I like him less. All that space devoted to fields. It's a pity we need the peasants to work them. What is wrong with this guy? I'm not gonna just say they lead hard lives and do difficult work because, like, yes, that's what I believe, but I don't think that's, like, the most helpful thing to say here to get him to keep talking. Oh my gosh, hi Fox, good morning. What time is it for you? It is 4 PM for me. I'm gonna say, why do you hate peasants so much? Because I want to try and get him to keep talking to tell me things. Oh, it's late for you? Yeah, it must be super late for you. I'd say they're worthless, but they do necessary labor, I suppose. Dude, be less be less likable, is what I was trying to say. What time zone you at? I'm in Melbourne. It's UTC plus 11, I think. I thought it was like noonish. Nah, it's Australian. Wait, what is my time zone? AEDT, Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, something? Yeah, UTC plus 11. I'm like the opposite side of the world. Yeah, but what does AEDT stand for again? We're on the eastern bit of Australia, so like the furthest bit away. Gotta remember this one more time zone. Honestly, it's so hard. I have a like world clock thingy bookmarked on my PC so that I can like check. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Daylight Time, okay. Yeah, that's the one. So at the moment it's plus 11, then it goes to plus 10 when we're not in daylight savings. Even so, they're filthy brutes. Idiots to the last, fit only short. Dude, I don't even like reading his lines out loud. It's hard to really think of them as people. So I'm plus 16 from you? Dang. Yeah, it's pretty big time difference. We were just saying before that I need to add your DGen sound alert. It is one of my favorite sound alerts that I've heard. AEST starts, I think, June-ish. I think it's in spring, isn't it? Oh, not spring. Whatever our equivalent, autumn for us, spring for Northern Hemisphere. I'm so confused. What even is time? I'm gonna keep asking him about his hatred for peasants because I am suspecting him of murdering the guy who was leading the peasant revolution. So I think I need to like get him talking. How did you develop such contempt for them? Thank you. It's so freaking loud. Is it that loud for you? Because it doesn't feel that loud when you're watching. Like, it is loud, but not, like, overwhelmingly loud. And it's such a bop. I wanted to keep going for longer. My father taught me that if you try to help a peasant, they'll only drag you down in their muck. Bro. Like a dumb cow stuck in mud? Stop. It's best to leave them to their fate. Still... Ew, their women are of some value. My dude just keeps getting worse and worse. Gross. So this is the guy who's cheating on his wife with the lady who runs the inn, who's also married. Who like his son wants to be an artist, and he was like, no, you can't be an artist, and basically like bullied him into not doing art. Although it seems like he is still doing art, just like in secret, which is good. And yeah, he's just like super misogynistic, hates peasants. Worst. Don't misunderstand me. They're as stupid as the men, but they do have some charms. Ew. Word ban? Okay. We'll speak in third person for the next 3 minutes. Ew, stop. No, he's going like full... Oh man, this is so gross. He's going like full pickup artist. When they're young, of course. They age like buttermilk in the sun. You're talking about people, my dude. What does it matter to you? You're a married man. We already know that he's having an affair. I'm just gonna say nothing for now. Oh, wait. Damn it. Did we just ruin the word ban? Do contractions count? Actually, let's keep prodding. Andreas, marriage is for raising children, keeping a household. There's nothing wrong with enjoying... Ew, with enjoying fruit from a tree in another man's yard from time to time. These lines, reading them out loud, is making me uncomfy. Stop referring to women as food. Given your contempt for them, I'm surprised any peasant women would lay with you. Oh really, and how many men have enjoyed the fruit from your tree? Oh shit. We love that both of these responses are sassy. Or an motif. Maybe let's not insult him. Maybe... Well, damn it. We mean both of them are kind of insulting. Let's go with the first one. This is really hard. That is the hardest word to ban, we think. Methinks. Their husbands are fumbling oafs, fat, ugly, and stupid. You were not better. You were not a catch, my dude. Some of them don't even know what the touch of a real man should feel like until... Ew, gross. Gross, gross, gross. As for the rest, they're easy to convince when there's a poor harvest year. Or when they're behind on their taxes. No. He keeps getting worse. You're such a piece of shit. Also, ugh. Okay, maybe we just blame him for the murder even if it's not him. Are we gonna be mad if he gets executed? Probably not. The dream man. Yeah, he's a bit far gone even for me. Do we call him out? Maybe. Your jealousy is showing? Narcissist much. The truth is that they all want to be with me. Of course. This guy is an Andrew Tate fan. They just need an excuse to ease their conscience. Something I'm sure you've never been burdened with. I love that this game is giving me all these choices. Oh wait, Leonard don't need? How do we read this one? Leonard don't need Father Thomas to tell Leonard when to feel guilty, Andreas. Neither do you. Well, that's enough talk for now. Are you ready to head up? He still wants to go hunting after all of that? Yes, let's continue. Okay, the 3 minutes up. I can say I again. Oh, the art's actually really pretty here. And now we're gonna go murder animals in it. Cool. Deer come through this clearing at all times of year. Can I miss my shots on purpose? There's a natural blind up ahead. We can watch from there. I don't know why I agreed to go hunting. I have to admit, I didn't think much of you when we were last in... Oh, when you were last in Tassing. Poor artist and all that. It's interesting because I didn't think much of you either. No, alright, I need to get information out of him. I'm gonna stop being so antagonistic. What changed? You made something of yourself. Became a master in Nuremberg. He's my least favorite kind of person. He's like judging people's worth based on like how like high up they are in society and stuff. In 7 years, you've gone from boarding in a rundown peasant's hovel to running your own successful workshop. Yeah, and I'm miserable. That's like a whole plot point. We got that mega depression. Men like us make our own fortune. Bro, your dad was a miller. You inherited his company. Yeah, didn't your father build the mill? Ugh. It's reminding me of Donald Trump. So I guess I'm a self-made man after he like inherited everything. I'm just gonna keep being polite though. Like I said, I need information out of him. So after a bit of wandering in my case, it doesn't matter. What's important is that you arrive there eventually. Peter Gertner will toil the same field his father did until he drops. Big York will do the same. Yeah, that's not their fault. Peasants ask for the world, but they can't even comprehend what's outside of their tiny plot of land. Again, not their fault. Do I just say nothing? Nah, I'll say where is this conversation leading? This rebellion by the farmers, it won't go anywhere. Whether it ends peacefully or violently, they won't win. If they need a scapegoat for Otto's death, look to Martin Boer. He's literally telling me to put the blame on someone? Why would he want to kill Otto? Martin didn't want to support Otto's little rebellion. He was quite happy with the way things were. Wasn't he Otto's right-hand man? Something changed recently. I think Otto learned something about Martin that Martin didn't want to get out. It was dire enough to change Martin from resisting Otto to wholeheartedly supporting him in front of the town. Oh, interesting. So by the time we got here, he was supporting Otto, but before that, not so much. How fortunate it is that you were eating with Werner and Baltus when the murder happened. Wait, so it wasn't him? No, I'm gonna ask him about the evidence. Find some. If Otto found out, others must know, or at least have suspicions. And I feel like I messed this up. I think I should have done more investigating earlier on. Because now I don't have time. Just get down. He's there. See him? You lead. I'll follow. Oh, wait. I'm actually aiming? Can I turn around? Can I shoot him? Take the shot. No. He shot right next to my ear. What a dick. You missed me by inches. I heard the ball fly past my head. Wouldn't that deafen me? Better than hearing it hit the back of your skull. Yeah, but dude. I'll admit, it's not the most accurate weapon, but it hit the target in the end. What a privilege not getting my head blown off. It would indeed cause hearing damage, right? Oh, relax, Melee, you're fine. Let's find the stag. It can't have gone far. This guy is the actual worst. Oh, it's still alive. I hate this game. It's not dead yet. Damn, Andreas, you missed entirely. Wait, so because I missed on purpose, it's now dying a slow and painful death? I was trying to avoid it dying at all. I suppose your fine hands aren't used to the weight of a crossbow. Ugh. It is the nature of a wolf to feed upon sheep. You're a miller, you make flour. I'm a miller with a gun. Okay, true, maybe I should stop arguing so much. And now he's covered in blood. I don't know, man. I don't know if he did it. Now then, let's find a long stick to carry the deer. Like, this is complicated, right? Because Brother Guy... Ew. Brother Guy was embezzling and had a good reason to murder him. And the fact that he was embezzling was one of the reasons why the church was increasing taxes and why the peasants ended up revolting in the first place, right? So, like, the whole thing would have been solved if he just stopped doing that. And, like, Leonard really sucks, and I don't mind, like, pinning the blame on him, but... Like, I don't know if he did it, though. I feel like he wouldn't get his hands dirty, right? Like, he would convince someone else to do it. And, like, he doesn't think that the Peasants' Revolt thingy is, like, going to work anyway. So he doesn't... I don't see him feeling threatened by Otto in any way. Like, Brother Guy had something to lose. Martin clearly had something to lose. But I feel like if Otto just came out and said anything, or like even if the revolt happened, like Leonard doesn't lose anything. It's like even if he doesn't agree with him, I don't think he has a reason to kill him. I went with you hoping you would tell me something useful about Otto's death. And I did. Maybe it wasn't what you wanted, but I don't really care about what you want. Think about what I said about Martin. I'll look into it. Good luck. Yeah, don't I have to... I've got 1 hour. No, wait, they've arrived? I've got to make a choice now. Everyone will be waiting to hear my evidence now. I'd best head into town and be prepared to name a suspect. I'm not ready. Can I quickly go and talk to Martin? Please, please. It's about to get real. Oh my god. Also, hi Nikako. Okay, so look, I don't think it was Leonard, as much as I hate him. And I feel like Martin was probably scared of Otto. I'm still leaning towards Brother Guy, even though I feel really bad now I know his reason for embezzling. But I'm just trying to remember, like, when we went and looked for the flowers, we found that whole, like, underground bit that was connecting the forest and the abbey, which also points to Brother Guy, right? Cat. for meow. Aww. I still think it was Brother Guy. Or maybe it was Martin, and because I didn't investigate Martin at all, I just completely missed out on all those clues. Oh my god. Is there a way I can quickly talk to Martin and be like, so just like quick last minute investigation. I feel like I couldn't speak to him before though when I tried to. Can I speak to anyone else? Please, any clues you have to offer me, I'll take them. Oh, and like I found a lot of clues pointing towards Brother Guy, right? So if I pick him, I have a good reason to pick him. I can't go in the house. Can I speak to Martin at all? No, see, I can't speak to him. Who'd you get for the first murder? I chose... Is it Prior for rank? The one who, he had, like, that whole occult thing going on with the, like, black magic rituals and things. Ah, your supervisor? Yeah, that guy. Have you played this as well? Alright, let's talk to Brigida and see if there's any last minute investigation I can do. I'm sorry, I forgot what I meant to say. No, I'll say Cat told me Wolf passed. I wanted to give my condolences. Thank you, it's... I try not to think about it. You don't want to remember him? I do, of course I do. I think you can only investigate Martin through Brigida and Cat. Oh, okay. I feel like I spoke to them before, but I failed the persuasion check, so I didn't end up getting any information from them. Yeah, see, I lied to her about my intentions before. So I can't win the persuasion check. Cat wants to talk about him all the time, you know. Anyway, oh, any night there's clear skies, she looks up and asks if I ever wonder how he is up there. That must be excruciating. Yeah, because I lied to her when we were talking to her before, and now I can't get any information out of her. Which makes me think that maybe it's not Martin, because it would be kind of like... It would be kind of mean of the game to like make it that hard to get the information you need to accurately choose. Yes, it is. I'm sorry, Andreas, I can't talk about this anymore. You didn't know. It's alright. It's been good to see you again, but I should be going until later. Oh, so you also blamed it on the supervisor? Can I talk to Kat again? No, I think I've gotten all the information I can get. I'm just gonna have to go into town and be brave and make a choice. Troops have arrived. Heck. Oh, you also failed your checks against Brigida. Who did you pick for the first one then? Alright, we don't have much time, so let's get this over with. Otelia? Really? I feel like, again, in Act 1, I didn't really investigate her that much. And then before I knew it, I had to make my choice. So I didn't really, like... I learned nothing about her. Do you mean the widow? That's Otelia, right? I'm bad at remembering their names. She had something in her home? I think I missed that. Alright, let's just... I'm gonna blame it on Brother Guy. Have you played Act 2 as well? I know some of you are frightened, some of you want to give up, but we have to see this through. Maybe we can't get what we've been fighting for, but we can get justice for Otto. Woo, justice! Oh, you finished the game? Nice. Who did you pick for Act 2? I'm gonna pick Brother Guy regardless, but I'm curious to know. Don't want to spoil it, so staying super vague. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for avoiding spoilers. Dad, what about the Duke's soldiers? They've been getting closer all day. You did Guy too? Okay, that makes me feel better. I know, that's why we have to do this now, before it's too late. All we need now is for Andreas to tell us who did it. I feel bad. No more stalling, Andreas. We need to know who killed Otto, and we need to know now. I didn't lie 7 years ago, nah. Of course I can. Finding the culprit is all I've been doing, or I'll tell you so justice can be served, not so you can fulfill your revenge. Now, just go with the first one. Peace, peace. If Andreas names the guilty party, they should face the law, not a mob. I'm not debating this, Ulrich. We're out of time. Acting now is the only way to get justice. We can't let anything stop us. A name, Andreas. Just give us a name. We'll do the rest. She made it, everyone. She made it. Wait, is this about the baby? Aw, Rachel gave birth to a baby girl. Hell yeah. Oh, ew. We're all just like hanging out in the house. Everyone needs to stay back and give Rachel space. Aww. Well, at least this part went well. They did not shy away from the newborn baby art. No, they didn't. I'm glad this bit went well, though. Wait, we're just looking at the spreadsheet? What? Safe and sound and a baby girl. With everything going on, with everything that could have happened. Yeah, this is like the one bit of good news. Aww, cute. Peter, I'm sorry. I can't keep supporting you anymore. What? I understand your cause, but I need to protect my daughter and keep my friends safe. I've already lost Marie and Bert. I can't bear to lose anyone else. If bowing to the Duke's wishes will protect us, I'll do it gladly. I believe in the cause, Peter, but not at the cost of any more violence. I mean, listen, I get where he's coming from, but didn't they try and negotiate? Like, the reason why they're resorting to this is because they tried doing it peacefully and it didn't work. Meanwhile, most of the peasant families are, like, starving and getting sick and stuff. So, like, I understand why they've gotten to this point. Should I try and take the middle ground here? Because on the one hand, I do support their cause, but on the other hand, I think maybe now's not the right time because the soldiers will just, like, destroy the town. I'm mostly lurking because I have a ton of dishes, but the game looks super interesting. That's totally fine, I understand. And yeah, it's been really good so far, honestly. Like, I thought the murder mystery in Act 1 was the entire game, and then it said Act 2, and I was like, there's more? So it just keeps, like, developing, and, like, more plot twists are coming up, and new things keep happening. But I haven't been bored yet at all. And it does feel like every choice you make is quite impactful. Like I said, I made one mistake earlier in lying to that lady, and that whole avenue of investigation was cut off. Which makes the decisions a little bit stressful, but also, like, it feels impactful, which is cool. And, like, at the moment, for some reason, everyone seems to be listening to me, and I have a feeling that my choices are going to affect whether or not the peasants, like, revolt against the church and stuff. Which is, you know, a lot of responsibility. I feel like I shouldn't be encouraging them now. I was all for it, and I love Otto. I want to carry on his legacy, but the soldiers will just destroy everyone. I felt really rushed on that first investigation, which I thought was cool. Yeah, it, like, forces you to, like, make time pass, so you can't... You won't be able to get all of the clues. And some of the clues are only available to you based on the background that you chose as well when you chose your education. Like, the only reason I could understand what all of those rituals were about is because I could read Latin and because I picked occult studies. So I think that's kind of cool as well, that your background affects what clues you get to. Yeah, it's a really well thought out game. It's really clever and, like, beautiful as well. The art is really cool. I'm going to say this is a stressful time for us all. I'm going to try and sit on the fence a bit, even though I know that's the coward move. I did the same. Sounds like we played fairly similarly. I mean, they just sounded like the cool subjects, right? Does the story change every playthrough? I mean, I don't know, to be honest, because this is the only playthrough that I've done. I don't know if I don't know how much of the story would change. I mean, I guess this, like, Act 2 and Act 3 would change depending on the decisions you make before, because certain people would be dead. But I don't know exactly how much of a difference it makes. I do want to watch other people play it when I'm done to see what they do. This is a stressful time for us all. I bet you can discover more depending on your background and who you investigate into. Yeah, 100%. I think if I do play it again, I want to try and investigate Martin a bit more, because I didn't even investigate him that much in Act 1, even though he was a suspect then too. You make me want to go back to variety streaming. Aren't you technically a variety streamer? You play, like, Dead by Daylight, you play Fortnite. I've been watching you play a bunch of different things lately. And you've been crocheting. That's a lot of variety. Oh no, I'm sorry, Peter. I know you're passionate, and I appreciate your enthusiasm. How can you also easily give up? That soldier said the Duke would consider concessions for the town if we release the abbot. Surely that will be enough. No, I think Fortnite is such an outlier. It was never in the cards until it was. Yeah, that's totally fair. Yeah, I never thought I would ever play Fortnite, but then like everyone else was playing it and I was like, man, I've got FOMO now. Now I have to play it too. And then Bellis did that giveaway for a Fortnite skin and I entered it and I was like, okay, if I win, then I'll play Fortnite. That'll be the deciding thing. And then I won his giveaway. So now I have to be a Fortnite streamer. That's the rules. That's how I have that All Might skin, even though that was my first time playing. Force will not solve anything. Letting the abbot go and getting concessions is the best solution for everyone. Like, I don't actually agree with this. Like, I think we should have some sort of socialist revolution, but I'm just scared that, like, the soldiers are so well trained compared to us. I feel like now's not the right time. I always scoffed at Fortnite. Now I'm a big supporter. Me too! I was like, Fortnite, that's like a game for kids. I'm not gonna play that. I play adult games like Overwatch. I'm kidding. But, like, yeah, I didn't think I would ever play Fortnite. And then I saw other people playing it and I was like, actually looks kind of fun though. Maybe I shouldn't have judged it. Letting the abbot go would be justice, wouldn't it? If he's not the one who killed Otto. Yeah, see, this is the thing. Like, I support the cause in general. I think the peasants are being treated terribly. But I think maybe, like, barricading all of the monks in the abbey, threatening to burn it down with them inside, might not be the best way to go about this situation. Not right now. Not while we have the Duke's attention on us. You townsfolk don't understand. Letting the abbot go won't fix anything. If we can't get the concessions we need, all peasants will starve and die in the end. And then where will Tassing be? Besides, Otto's death needs to be vindicated. Don't walk away from this now, Ulrich. I have not swayed from the cause, Peter, rest assured. But, Ulrich, this isn't your fight. Right. It is moral and Christian to stand with the peasants. I cannot do otherwise. Damn you all, such behavior is reckless and cruel, especially right now. I also just wanted Klaus to survive, finding out Andreas never wrote him. Right? I was so mad too. Klaus is like my wife, and wasn't it his daughter as well? He wrote to him saying his wife and daughter died, and Andreas just ghosted him, but like medieval style, by not writing back ever. I was so mad. And like Otto as well got married, and his dad died, and Andreas was just like, nah. His wife, oh, and his son, that's right. Yeah, it was terrible. He just ignored everybody. And like, I get he has his own issues, but still. You can, it's not that difficult to write even just like a polite my condolences letter in return, you know? Andreas, we're not done. We must still find justice for Otto before the Duke's soldiers arrive. Yes, let's continue this outside. Alright. Oh my god. Do I have to choose now? I'm so scared. And the thing was, with Act 1, was that they didn't confirm if I got it right or not. Yeah, I would think having lost his own son as well. God, I bought... Oh my god, yeah, that dream thing where you found out that he had a son but he died. And that's why he and his wife are having issues. I was streaming that too and I was like tearing up. I was like, I can't cry on stream. But that was so sad. No more stalling, no more interruptions. Tell us what you know, Andreas. I loved the way they depicted depression too. With his like, essentially his mind palace, right? Like that place he goes to when he's dreaming, his subconscious. And the way it all changed after he became depressed. I thought that was really cool. Give us a name or the monks can burn along with their precious books. Melancholia? Oh my god, yeah, I got chills when I found out what her name was. That was a really good scene. Remember your promise or mobbing the culprit. Let's just give the murder to the Duke's men. I'll just go, keep it simple. Remember your promise, you'll let them go, you won't hurt them. Yes, I remember, but first you need to give us what we want. Tell us. I have one more condition. I do? Damn it, Mela, we don't have time for this. I also love when they're like aggressive or like yelling, how you get like the little ink splatter. There's just so many cool details in this game. Let Casper leave. He doesn't have to be wrapped up in this mess. And how our like apprentice has basically become like a son to us. What? Leave? Yes, fine, the boy can leave. It's not his fight. I can't convince him to leave? Wait, oh, for good reasons. Okay. For a minute then I was like, have I been raising him poorly? But no, it's because I encouraged him to learn, I showed concern for him, I cared for him and reassured him. So it's like, he's too attached to me, he won't leave. Please, Casper, I couldn't live with myself if something happened to you. No, no, Master Andreas, I won't leave you. I know you don't want to, but you have to. Find your way back to Salzburg, back to your family. Oh, he looks so sad. Please. Master Andreas, you'll teach me again when this is all over, right? Of course, Casper, I'll be right behind you. Okay, hold on, but this is a death flag if I've ever read one. Of course, Casper. Go on ahead, I'll be right there. Are we about to die? I'm gonna cry if we die and we leave Casper on his own. Alright, I'll see you soon, Master. Are we the father figure that dies in every story ever? Who killed Otto? Oh my god. Hey, alright. Pick a suspect to rally the mob against? I feel icky. Press and hold to confirm your choice. Alright, so Martin. Johann Bauer told me he doesn't think the man calling himself Martin is actually his nephew. He didn't offer any specific evidence, but he seemed confident in his assertion. That was one of the most wild conversations I've had in this game. He was like, I think my nephew might be a doppelganger. Casper and I overheard Hannah Berggren speaking with Leonard Muller. She said she was glad someone killed Otto because an uprising would have threatened pilgrim visits to the Shrine of St. Moritz, which would have been disastrous for the Golden Hand. Also, it's clear she's having an affair with the miller. Killian Berger gave me a note he found on the floor while cleaning. It's clearly from the thread puller. It suggests that Otto was going to destroy the Abbey and the Hand of St. Moritz. So presumably if we investigated Martin more, we would have found out he had a note too, right? I didn't have that conversation with Hannah? About which part? About her having the, oh no, with Martin. Right. It kind of makes sense though. He's bigger than the real Martin. He doesn't sneeze. He looks a bit different. Oh, I forgot about the sneezing thing, but you're so right. Yeah, that was a really weird conversation. I still don't, I mean, maybe it was Martin. Guy, I have so many pages of notes for him. I found the Abbey's financial ledger in the sacristy. Brother Guy was balancing the books using a double bookkeeping method. He keeps meticulous records, maybe too meticulous. There was a mostly blank scrap of parchment between the pages. Its purpose is unclear. I found a book in the abattoir that seems quite out of place. It's a manual on enacting necromancy rituals. There was also a loose piece of paper with handwritten notes stuck between the pages. I found fresh lemons tucked inside his desk, which we then used to see the invisible ink. Some of the handwritten notes in the necromancy book used Burgundian terms. Brother Guy is the only person at Kearsau from Burgundy. He must have been the one who wrote in it. Yeah, he used lemon juice to write an invisible message. By holding the parchment over a flame, I could make it appear. It was a second brief ledger of deposits that he was making into a bank, so it's clear that he was embezzling. I found a jar in the herb hut at the convent containing golden rings and other jewels. Sister Marguerite identified Brother Guy as the monk who hid them there. So, like, I've got a lot of clues about Brother Guy, right? Sister Amelie overheard Guy's confession to Father Thomas. Otto saw him writing in the Abbey's financial ledger and confronted him about it, determined to prove the Abbey was hoarding money. Guy confessed to Father Thomas that he was embezzling money from the Abbey. Sister Amelie, blah, 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 blah. Alright. Brother Guy gave me the note. It's yet another note from the thread puller. I think just out of the sheer amount... almost like the fact that there's so many clues pointing to him make me suspect that it's not him. Like, it was almost too easy. If I can find any more evidence of his misdeeds, that's a lot of evidence. Yeah. See, then he admitted to doing one crime, but then still insisted that he didn't murder Otto. I'm not 100% sure it was Brother Guy, but I don't really have any solid proof that it was the other two. So I'm just gonna go Brother Guy. Alright, locking it in. Oh my god. I just got the achievement, the embezzler, get Guy killed. Does that mean it was correct? It was Brother Guy. I feel like it wasn't him. Doing the abbot's bidding? Maybe we'll be burning down the abbey after all? Wait, no. No, Guy acted alone. He was stealing money from the abbey. Otto tried to see Guy's ledger at the scriptorium. Man, I've gotten 2 monks killed in this game. When Guy refused, Otto said he'd see it one way or another. So he panicked. One way or another, he'd be caught, either by Otto or the abbot. Only a few days ago, Guy hid some of his stolen money in one of the jars, or I found a book in the abattoir. I'm just gonna stay on the money track, because I'm pretty sure he said he never went through with the necromancy ritual, so I don't think that's, like, as important as the money thing right now. One of the sisters identified him, and I saw the stolen money with my own eyes. It was a small fortune. It sounds like the brothers learned they agreed from the abbot. Why are they so intent to hate the abbot? I mean, I also don't like him, but still. I found a book in the abattoir and confirmed it was Brother Guy who brought it there. Oh, I'm going to tell them about the book anyway. The book was a manual of magic. Guy had marked a section he could use to cast a spell on Otto. Magic? God protect us. We won't touch the others, Andreas, but if Brother Guy killed Otto, he needs to face justice. Alright, Peter. We've heard Andreas out, but the accused should be allowed to defend themselves. I've heard enough. We're getting Guy. Oh man. I hope I was right. Because, like, he had a good reason for embezzling the money. And like I said, the consequences of his embezzlement led to this whole revolution in the first place, but still... Was he with the other monks? What if they're protecting him? Quickly, get to the scriptorium. I saw a guy running out of the church just now. Oh my god, I'm literally sending a mob after someone. This feels terrible. Not the woman bringing a baby to the monk, but oh my god, she is too. Wait, isn't that Otto's wife? And their, like, newborn baby? It's just, you know, it's a family activity. Burning monks. Fun for the whole family. He was headed toward Leonard's mill. Really? Why? Let's go get after him. Wait, what? Why the mill? Why is Leonard protecting him? Stay back, brutes. This won't end well for any of you. I mean, dude, listen to him. He will shoot. He will shoot. He nearly shot me in the head. Brother Guy is my protection, and I won't hesitate to shoot you like the animals you are. So unlikable. So stay away from my fucking mill. And you, Andreas, I thought you might have learned something from our little chat. It seems you really are as pathetic as the rest of this lot. You're an asshole, just give us the murderer, or I don't want to be wrapped up in this. Yeah, you're an asshole, Leonard. You always had the wrong idea about the peasants. I never agreed with you. I Thought you were a man of stature, Andreas, but you're just a spineless bastard. It'll be the death of you, I know it. Stop foreshadowing Andreas' death. We have an apprentice to raise. Elsa, take the boy and go. You don't need to be involved in this. No, Elsa, get back in the mill. Don't you dare disobey me, Paul. You hear me? Can we burn down Leonard as well, please? Let's just burn the whole mill down. Whoa, why is his face doing that? Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm not staying here any longer. I'm taking Mum and we're leaving somewhere far away from you. Hell yeah. You go, Paul. I love Paul. I hope he and his mum go far away. She remarries a much nicer man. And he gets to follow his dreams of becoming an artist. You'll regret this, boy. I won't be responsible for how your life turns out if you leave. Heat waves from the fire. Oh yeah. Paul, man, he is. I love Paul. Leonard, let them go. They've lived under your rule long enough. I should have expected this from you, Paul. You've always been a sad excuse for a son. Dude, he sucks so much. And Elsa, if you do this, you won't find anyone else to love you. Bro, I'm sure she'll be fine. You'll be a feckless old crone? Rude. It's over, Leonard. They're gone. Also, feckless is a great insult, though. Fire, fire. 100%. I want to just burn down this whole mill. Now that they're not in there and it's just these two, easy. You're not so high and mighty now, are you? You're going to lose everything, just like us. He's about to fire, though. Who's gonna die? Give up, Muller. There's more of us than you in that mill, and you can't shoot us all. He might try, though. Give us that dirty monkey bastard. I had to go do something. Did you say Mr. Tate did it? No. I said Brother Guy did it in the end, but Leonard is protecting him. So I think we might be able to kill two birds with one stone. I didn't do anything. You have to believe me. Honestly, I'm not sure that Brother Guy did do it. I just didn't have anyone else to blame. I had nothing against Otto. Nothing against the peasants. My guy likes that guy, if you know. Mr. Guy likes that guy, if you know what I'm saying. No. He wasn't one of the gay monks. I'm on your side. No, you're not. You're a liar, a thief, and a murderer. Now you'll pay for it. You're all mad. This isn't how the law works and you know it. Your blabbering will change nothing. You've never given a damn about law or justice or propriety or fucking decency a day in your life, Leonard. Fucking A, get him, Peter. Huh, you let me have my way for years, Peter, and done shit all about it. You never stood up for anything. And you won't get any further today, coward. Peter, Leonard, peace. Let us search for peace tonight. Such language is not Christian. Ulrich. My dude. We're so far gone beyond that. Coward, am I? Come down here and face me like a man, you piece of shit. Oh my god, this is escalating so hard. Please, everyone calm down. We can still talk this out. Violence is not the answer, Peter. You can't blame the man, Ulrich. Force is all Peter and his family knows. Certainly worked with Christine. What? How dare you even speak her name, much less suggest... No! They didn't shoot. But Ulrich? The guy who was telling everyone to calm down and be peaceful? No! Oh my god. You've been a menace on this town long enough, Leonard, but murder? You've brought this on yourself. Let both of the murderers die together. I mean, yeah, I'm here for this now. I can't believe you just shot him, what the fuck? Why would you go inside? Why would you not just continue shooting at that point? If you're someone who, like, who sees peasants and animals. Andreas, troops are advancing on the town. Oh my god, no, wait, really? This is going so badly. Is this my fault? We need to go now. We must let the abbot out so he can talk to the Duke's soldiers. No, I think we need to leave these guys here and try and deal with the soldiers, because if the soldiers show up and start, like, attacking everyone, then we're really fucked, so... Yeah. If we don't get the abbot out, he won't be able to stop the soldiers. Precisely, let's go. Alright, let's do it. This is all gone kind of tits up, to be honest. I feel like, I don't know if I did something wrong or if this is meant to happen. Father Abbot, you can come out. The peasants won't hurt you now. Really? Why? Andreas found the killer and justice has been dispensed. Peter has to keep to his word. Are you sure? I mean, I don't even like Father Gurnet that much, to be honest, but, I mean, if they burned down the abbey, that was going to be a problem. Please, Father Abbot, the Duke's soldiers have surrounded the town. We have to show them you're in no danger, that the peasants aren't holding you captive. We don't want any more bloodshed, Father. Oh, thank God. Is it over? Finally. What happened at the mill? Is anyone hurt? We saw a fire. And where's Brother Guy? What's happened to him? Oh my God. Peter, you're supposed to be busy burning down the mill. What is going on? Peter, stop. You got your justice. You swore that you wouldn't harm the abbot or the brothers, remember? I did. No one else needs to die tonight. The abbot can talk to the Duke's herald. You hold Leonard responsible for his actions. We can convince the Duke that what happened tonight was justice. Otto is dead. Ulrich is dead. We can work through this, Peter. Hope is not lost. Everything can go back to the way it was before. No, that's not a good thing to say. He doesn't want it to go back to the way things were before. And also, you can't undie those people who died. Right, the way it was before. Where all the peasants were starving. Like nothing ever happened. Peter. Oh, that's a fire burning, isn't it? What is it? What did you do? That? Yeah, read the room for real, Thomas. Right? God save us, he's lit the manuscripts. Oh no. Nothing's ever going to change. The books! Okay, Mr. Bookworm, now is not the time. Andreas also needs to read the room. Dad, what did you do? We need to get to the water in the sister's well, quickly, before it spreads. Oh my God. Oh my God. I was trying to stop the soldiers from attacking everyone, but I don't know what to do now. Peter, the soldiers are in the abbey. They're coming this way. We need to save as... Andreas. Andreas. We need to save as many of the books as we can. No, we need to get out of here. Yeah, Andreas, come on. Don't die over some books. I know they're important to you, but my dude. Andreas, let's go. Is this because I chose the bookworm trait, or does this always happen? Okay, we're leaving, hopefully. I'm sorry, I can't. What? Can I choose this? What the fuck? Am I gonna die because I wanted to save some books? Like, I understand wanting to save the books, but still, we don't need to die over it. Damn, that art looked good. It does. They're good at lighting, like having that sort of reddish-orangey glow over everything. Oh my God, and we're being attacked? Is this the bad ending? The sacred texts. Oh no, and there's Caspar. Just watching it all unfold. I mean, this does look like a painting. Composition is very good, but still, love this. I like the look of it, but I don't want Andreas to die trying to save books. What? I know he loves books, but my dude, you've got so many unresolved issues. Don't let it end like this. Oh, is that the inn? Wait, the inn was... Oh no, that's the mill, right? Being burned down? For all interested parties regarding investments made to Andreas Mahler, artist of Nuremberg, for the creation of a mural in the Church of Our Lady. The Chamber Court upholds the rulings of the Nuremberg City Court and Council in 1526 and 1527 respectively. All claimants signed contracts containing clauses under which their investments could be returned. So we did die? As Andreas Mahler's death indisputably resulted from a grade to power, a contractually exempted circumstance, his estate cannot be held liable. In the interest of feminine liberty, his widow, Sabine, retains all contested investments. We really died in a fire trying to save books. The 15th day of February, the day after Valentine's Day, Anno Domini 1534. Bro, I did not spend 2 acts getting attached to this character for him to die in a fire trying to rescue books. Wait, then who am I playing in Act 3? Because I'm assuming there's not just 2 acts, right? Normally there's 3. Thought that was kind of a weak point. He has melancholy and yet goes back in for the books. Yes, you did. That's exactly what you did. Yeah, I feel like that was a bit... Considering, like, the quality of writing in the rest of the game. I mean, I'm also just annoyed that the character died. I feel like it would have been better if he was, like, trying to rescue Casper or something, maybe. Feels like it's getting cold early this year, doesn't it? Wait, who am I playing as now, then? At my age, it feels like the cold comes earlier every year. But we need this chill for the leaves to fall and the galls with them? What are galls? Oh, never mind. I'll never know. What, you don't want to climb the saint's tree to pull them off? Ah, even in my youth that would have required divine intervention. Look, this is great and all, but we just had a very dramatic, like, death scene. And now we've cut to these 2 nuns who I am not even, like, particularly attached to. Just chatting. Just shooting the shit. No, thank you. I'll stay here on the ground and wait patiently for the Lord to deliver. Okay, this is pretty funny, though, actually. Don't you have ink back at your father's shop, though? Wait. Magdalene... Is that Magdalene as in the printer's daughter? For the press, he has it delivered. This is just for my own drawings. Or is she a nun? I'm getting confused about all the different characters now. Besides, sometimes it feels nice to do things the old way. An old way it is. I would know. But Gertrude doesn't look that old compared to when we last saw her. Hey, Mag's sister... Wait, Otz? Wasn't he... the son? Wasn't he Otto's son? The baby? In the last scene? How many years has it been? Is Casper okay? Yeah, Master Zimmerman, that's Otto's surname. Oh my god, what has it been, like 15 years or something? So that is the printer's daughter, maybe, Magdalene. Because she was also a baby. I told you not to call me that. Love? Is it the beginning of a love story? What, Mags? Why? People call me Otz. You don't see me complaining. Isn't that his name? Not even a name, it's a valley. You like being called Otz. Right? So, why are you being so stuck on? Okay, well, he has his father's tact. Master Zimmerman. Would you call who? Mary Magdalene, witness to our Lord's death and resurrection, Mags? ... I guess not. Then it seems only fitting you should call Mistress Druckerin by her full Christian name. Alright, sorry sister. Sorry, Max. Wait, dude. Magdalene. Anyway, your dad wants to see you. What? Why? Isn't he at the rat house? He is. He wants you to grab his mural sketches and bring them. Oh, fine. I suppose this is enough goals for now. I was just about finished too. Yeah, I think that's meant to say 2. God bless you both. Don't be long, Magdalene. The council's waiting on this. Not sure why this falls on me, but I suppose I better get going. I think Dad left the rat house plans on his workshop bench at home. Wait, am I playing as Magdalene now? Ooh, interesting. Alright. The mural. Oh, we have time skipped a lot. Agnes gathers chamomile here every year to prepare her cures for the coming year. I've actually... Oh no, I thought I had chamomile tea. I do not at the moment, but I love chamomile tea. Alright, I'm gonna have to like relearn who everyone is. Can we go through to the bushes again? Fall down into the aqueduct. I'm gonna go and explore a little bit. I wanna see what else has changed. The waterfall is always so beautiful. It is. The art is really pretty. And I love the way the animals are drawn too. The old salt mines, no one's mined in Tassing for ages. I mean, they look the same as they did. Except you can't read the tombstone anymore. Do we think Old Smoky still lives here? Or do we think Old Smoky was too old to still be alive now? Oh my god, look, you can see the abbey in the background. And it's like all overgrown. Does that mean it like burned down, was never rebuilt? Ooh, wait, and why are all the trees so short and bare? Can't believe how quickly the leaves changed this year. Wait, Smokey's still here? Wait, and Vaxlov is back? Hello, Magdalene, so they know me. Oh, but I can't really talk to them. It's nice to see some greens this time of year. Horehound is one of... Wait, horehound? Is one of the few plants that grows year-round here. Interesting. I want to know what happened to the millers though as well. Let me go to the meadow real quick. Ooh, the inn is still here. I assume because I didn't accuse the landlady of murder. This old statue of St. Moritz has seen better days. It's so quiet. Oh, there we go. Snow is creeping down the mountains. Winter is coming. I can smell the ants on the breeze. It reminds me of when I was little. Alright, I want to go and investigate the abbey actually. It's so overgrown. And it's locked. Can't go in. This is so cool. And like the path is all like vanished as well. Imagine actually living near like the ruins of an abbey. It'd be awesome. The convent's still going? Doors are open. And yeah, we know about Gertrude. So like the convent is still being used. Wait, but there's no plants. The son of Mousefanger? Oh, hell yeah. Mousefanger is still the best name for a cat that I've ever heard. And I love that you can pet the animals. Oh, like half the nuns that I knew are probably dead. Oh no, wait, she's still here. Marguerite. Hello, Marguerite. It's Magdalene. I just think there are no plants because of the time of year. Oh, true, 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 true. You don't normally come to the convent alone. What brings you here? Not that you're not welcome, of course. It's always wonderful to have visitors. I had some spare time and thought I'd say hello. Oh, well, hello. Fair enough. It's good to hear your voice, though. I enjoy it when outsiders visit the convent. Do you miss the outside world much, sister? Yes, sometimes. I miss the other Benedictine sisters, especially. You'd never admit it, but Sister Lisbeth had the most wonderful voice. I always stood next to her if I could. Why stay then? Why didn't you leave when the Benedictines left Kearsarge? Truth be told, I was too frightened to leave. Kearsarge is my home. I didn't like the idea of becoming accustomed to a new place. Learning the convent's ins and outs was hard enough. I never went outside the convent much anyway. I know where everything is here, even if it's... Oh, true, because she's blind. That would be so hard to learn the layout of a new place. Sister Gertrude had already planned to stay too. The garden always needs tending, and 2 hands make light work. Wait, so all the other sisters left? Besides, I can't leave Mousefanger behind. He's a good cat. Wait, she? Mousefanger is a she? Even better. I'm just going to say, of course, she truly is Queen of Kersau. Has the convent changed very much since poor Clarice? Poor Clarice? Who is that? Order of contemplative nuns founded by Saints Clare and Francis of Assisi. As the name suggests, the poor Clares are devoted to extreme poverty. They subsist purely on the donation of alms? Interesting. I'm learning so much from this game as well. Yes, the food is simpler and some of the prayers are different, but all the chores and gardening is the same. Gertrude misses making ink for the scriptorium, but I've enjoyed learning the sisters' new customs. Speaking of which, I should probably return to my chores. Alright. So, most of the nuns left. And now there's a new order of nuns here who are devoted to poverty? Franziska. I mean, it is significantly less fancy in there than the last time. But did we ever get the relic back? The Hand of St. Moritz? Oh yeah, there it is. Wait, who took it then? I never figured out, like, where it went. And you can't go in the actual abbey. Ooh. And you can see, like, where the roof burnt down. But also, like, so much time has passed that the plants have started growing over it. I think it was just locked away in the church. Oh, was it? I must have missed that. I remember it being gone, but I don't think I worked out what happened to it. I want to go see the mill as well. It looks like it's working, though. Yeah, it's, like, been renovated. Oh my gosh, dog. Hello, let me pat you, please. Good dog. Oh, I want a pat dog. Got a long neck. Who is this? Wait, Andreas? They named their kid Andreas? Good day, Master Muller. Yeah, they mention it. I don't think you can find it, but it's locked away from the townspeople in sort of an act of spiritual hostage. Oh, okay. I must have missed that part. What are you up to today? Drawing. Oh, he's an artist as well? Anything interesting? No, secrets. Wait, what? Oh, I see. I'll leave you to it then. Wait, does that mean, Paul came back and had a son that he named after Andreas? That's so cute. Oh, Elsa's back too. So Anna must be Paul's wife. So much has changed. Oh, and they have Ulrich as well. Cute. Magaline. Hello, Ulrich. Another tearjerker. Wait till you see what the other kid is named. Wait, is it Ulrich? Or someone else? What are you doing? Watching? Very well. Keep up the good work. Oh, after Ulrich. Aww. Wait, as in like the guy who was shot by his dad too. I will work now. Aww. This game is too emotional. I just want to solve mysteries. Our Lady of the Labyrinth. Is that the... I forget her name. Was it Sister Amelie? The nun who like lives in there. Is she still here? Father Thomas was like getting on a bit in the last act. Mary, Mother of Jesus. Her painting has been here as long as I can remember. Wait, wasn't that meant to be the saint? Saint Satia? The one the town is named after? Or was that always Mary? I'm probably just getting them modelled now. Let's go see the Martin Boa farm. Oh, there's Brigitte with grey in her hair now. Is Martin still here? Oh, Martin's like old now. It must have been like 15 years or something, right? There's an empty... Oh. Is Attilia dead? She was pretty old before. Wait, Hansbo is still going? Surely not. Who's Jutta? Eddie? He's new. Simon. Surely Hans is old. Hello, Magdalene. Hello, Hans. Did you need something? Graf hasn't bothered you again, has he? Or gotten into some other trouble? Ika, you're back! Did we kill the heretic? Yes, we killed Brother Guy, even though I actually don't know if he did it or not. And then our character actually died. Andreas Mailer, sorry, died in a fire trying to rescue books from the fire. Yeah, that was a lot. And so now, I think about like 15 years must have passed, at least a decade, because we're now playing as Magdalene, who was a baby in Act 2. But the whole abbey was burned down in the end too. So the whole abbey burned down. Brother Guy died, and the miller, who I hated, also died because he was trying to protect Brother Guy and then shot one of the peasants. He shot Ulrich. And so then they burned down the mill with him inside, basically. So, yeah, it was pretty wild. A lot happened. It was very dramatic. Got some beautiful art, though. So now I'm just, like, running around as Magdalene trying to, like, figure out what's changed. Good, that boy's a thorn in my boot. He's lazy, arrogant, doesn't care for his family. Oh, and we just found out that, the boy artist, Paul, who we encouraged to be an artist, had a son and named him Andreas after us. I love how you have no idea if the people who you accused were actually the perpetrators. Right? Because he denied it, but like, he'd probably deny it. Oh my gosh! Yay! Hello! Oh my gosh, thank you, Raiders. Hello, Teal Duck Pond, how you going? And that Jordo. We're playing Pentiment. I'm pretty sure that's how we first met, wasn't it? You guys raided when I was playing Pentiment like a little while ago. I'll give you guys a shout out as well. Shout out the Teal Pond. Just making sure I'm spelling it correctly, yes. What were you playing? Stranded Deep. Oh, I haven't heard of that. What's Stranded Deep like? Is it good? We're in Act 3 now. We just started. Sorry. I'm too speedy with the shout outs. I don't know how far you guys got in Pentiment, but we're in Act 3. Real deal teal seal. That's still always so hard for me to say, but it's a very good name. Thank you. Our first stream back as a merged channel. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I knew you guys were merging, but I didn't know if you'd streamed since then or not. Amazing. How was it? How was the first merged stream? Anyway, didn't mean to complain. So yeah, we're just like running around as Magdalene trying to like figure out how much has changed at the moment. And I think I was told something to do and I've just like gotten very sidetracked. Oh, I have to go to get the mural plans. It was a real deal lively time. Excellent. That sounds great. Oh no, your internet died? Oh, I'm sorry, that sucks. Not like this, yeah. Alright, let's go to the Gertner farm. Yeah, how much have you played of Pentiment in the end? Because I don't want to give any spoilers. Even then, it was nice and chill after. Oh, that's good. Il Peter is still going? He must be like 100 at this point. Our PC tried to connect to the Wi-Fi midstream. Oh no. That's not good. So the Gertners are still here. I can go up to the bedroom. Interesting. This is where we started. In the beginning of the game. Andress. Wait, Martha, was she the girl that he was talking about that he met in the market? And we were like, you should go talk to that lady again. And he was like, you know what? Maybe I will. Did he do that and finally ended up with her? Is that who Martha is? I hope so. Wait, Brother Wojslav isn't a brother anymore? He's just out in the town? Wait, with Matilda, wasn't he having like a secret love affair with Matilda, but he wasn't meant to because he was a monk? And they're just now together? Cute. Artemis, that is a cool name. I have no idea who she is though. Oh, Ursula's all grown up. I don't remember Fabian though. The Hoomsts? The what? The Fruitses? I don't know who these are. Black Till? Okay. Eva? Oh, this was the Zimmerman house. So Eva must have gotten remarried. And Christina? So she's had another kid, I think. What are you doing today? Helping Mum? Odds is right. You're really... Wait, Odds said we're pretty? Cute. Huh? He said that? No, I'm gonna say, oh, thank you, Christina. You're really pretty too. Hee hee. Don't tell. It's a secret. Oh, I'll keep it secret. You're funny, Magda. Okay, thanks for that, Christina. Yeah, we're in Act 3 now, so I don't want to spoil anything for you guys if you haven't gotten this far. I can't remember where you got up to. But the end of Act 2 was wild. Should I go up to the church or should I... I'll go to the north of town first and then go to the church. Oh, or maybe Rezi was his girlfriend? I don't know. Oh, hello? Hey again, Mags. ... Are you serious? I just told you not to call me that. And what are you all doing out here? Don't you have better things to do? What business is that of yours? Not me. All my work's done, Mags. Apollo? What do you care? It's not like you've got important work to do. Ooh, okay, I've got to pick a background. So am I a tinker? Magdalene maintains and tinkers with the press and type and sometimes works with Boltus. Domestics. Magdalene can handle anything connected with household or animal work. Or bookkeeping. Magdalene is proficient with balancing numbers and general accounting of data and information. I want to be a tinker. Let's tinker with the printing press. That sounds cool. Oh, press and hold. I keep the press running for my dad and I work with Boltus. Oh, thank you so much for the follow that, Jordo. I appreciate it. I work with Boltus. Who's Boltus again? Oh, was he the, like, inventor that showed up in the last one? Gosh, the Sonic with the peace sign? That's amazing. That seems a little more important than standing around the commons in the middle of the day. I mean, she's not wrong. Boltus's inventions are stupid. Doesn't seem like anything a girl should be involved with if you ask me. Well, Apollo's immediately written off the potential love interest list, isn't he? Right, no one did. Calm down, Mags. You're going to get a reputation. For what? Am I like Belle from Beauty and the Beast? I'm an inventor and I like reading. I'm just too eccentric for this provincial town. Alright, I'm passing Outlaw. Good to meet you. Oh, thank you so much for stopping by and following. I hope you rest well. Craft. Too late to worry about that. She already has a reputation. You are Belle? Awesome. Belle was always my favorite Disney princess. Ooh. Ooh. Interesting. I get to choose my, like, social style. So I can either be tsundere, is what this is saying, Barbs. Magdalene is skilled at stinging, countering, and otherwise deflating people in conversation. Flirt. Magdalene likes to playfully tease and flirt with people. Haggle, a strong negotiator, whether it comes to finances or other matters of trade. Or Snoop. Has a penchant for sneaking around, eavesdropping on conversations, and passing gossip. Ooh. I mean, I kind of want to go flirt, but I feel like these two are more useful, right? Like Haggle or Snoop. Like, I don't know what the plot is going to be. Like, am I going to have to investigate, like, the first two acts? Because if I am, then Haggle and Snoop are probably going to come in most handy. Maybe I'll go Haggle. Because then we can, like, help our dad with business stuff too. And that just seems useful. So Magdalene is a strong negotiator, whether it comes to finances or other matters of trade. You've said that before and it doesn't make any sense. I bargain like a man? What does that even mean? Ooh, it'd be cool if this is how you find out if you were right or wrong. True. Well, what it sounds like. You're still mad at me because I convinced Gret to give me her last pretzel on Friday. Let it go. That is an amazing use of haggling powers. Easy for you to say when you got the pretzel. I love how petty this is. Alright, we got it. Lay off. Did you get those things your dad wanted? No, I didn't. Oh, that's right. No, not yet. Hopefully I can just drop them off and start my reading for the day. I am, Belle. Reading? What book is so important that you need to get back to it? Dude, the people who made this game love books. So much. Ooh. I kind of want to be a polyglot. But what's this one? Volksbücher? Magdalene is familiar with the most popular common books of the day. Assorted trivia, almanacs, common knowledge, and scatological stories. That sounds really cool. Or Reformation. Magdalene has read a wide range of contemporary books. Ooh, on the Reformation and Counter-Reformation. Those sound juicy, but I remember in the past 2 acts, being able to understand other languages was super helpful. So I might go polyglot. Then I can speak Italian and read a bit of other languages. They all sound cool though. Don Floriso de Nique? I don't know how to pronounce that. I am not a polyglot IRL, unfortunately. Floriso Lake Flower. It's a knightly romance written in Castilian. Such a beautiful language. We're such a nerd. I love it so much. Who speaks that? Me, apparently. People from Castile. Never heard of it. Right. Sounds made. It sounds fake to me, but okay. That's what he just said. Don't you read all sorts of books about trees and birds and whatever? Yes, trees and birds and whatever. That's right. We're so sassy. People are finally writing down what they see in nature instead of copying something a Greek imagined centuries ago. We're so revolutionary. Do you have any books on frogs? Oh my god, I love that so much. I've changed my mind to love Apollo. What? Never mind. Bro, I'll find you a book on frogs. Wait, Ots, aren't you supposed to be at the rat house too? You're on the council. Sure, but it's pointless without your dad's plans. Hurry up and get them. Rude. He's a tsundere. I'll see you there. I've changed my mind. I love Frog Boy. We can hang out and talk about frogs. Alright, where am I meant to be going? Get them from the workshop. But where is our workshop? I've already forgotten. The Drucker house. Oh. Did I just go past where I was meant to go? Whoopsie. Oh, that looks pretty. Like, where in the house? Not there. Our house is pretty nice. The Rat House mural sketches. I think this is what my dad wants. I think these are all of the plans. What is... Oh, wait, what is this? Is this part of the plans? Again? Stop. What does that mean? And how is the thread puller still alive? Surely it can't be one person at this rate, right? Like, anyone who was an adult and like smart enough to pull the threads before would be ancient by now. Huh. This isn't Dad's handwriting. I can actually kind of read this. Oh, what an odd color. We don't have an ink like this here, or did someone leave this here? I'll go with the color thing. At least I don't think we do. Well, that means that Brother Guy definitely wasn't the thread puller. I didn't think he was, but still. I wonder if we've met them. Well, whatever. I'll bring it just in case. Alright, I better get these over to the rat house. I really hope the game does tell me at some point before the end if I got the culprits right or not. Oh. Sleep? No, I don't need to sleep. Let's go deliver those plans. Where am I meant to go again? It was in the town, right? In the North Commons, right? So they finished building the rat house. Oh, well, not quite. I don't understand how we're still arguing about this. But does this mean that we actually did get our, like, town council instead of the abbey running things? I assume so, right? These murals should depict the truth, what we know is the truth. I don't think it's so simple, Klaus. Also, that's Paul. Well, he grew up into a fine gentleman. I'm very proud of him. Are you afraid of angering our Lord, Father Thomas? I think Father Thomas means that the truth is not so easily agreed upon. I don't know. I'm tired of arguing. I just want it to look nice and show what happened. Wait, what are we trying to depict? Magdalene, thank you for bringing these. Maybe illustrations will succeed where talking has failed. I'm done arguing with them. I'll see you at home for supper. It's alright, Magdalene. We don't need to see the drawings. It's not that we don't understand what he's trying to do. I didn't realize we had upset him so much. How is Father Thomas still alive? Maybe he wasn't as old as I thought. Sounds like things got worse after I left. I think there's a bit of chemistry between these two. The power of the Lord, true. He just prayed real hard. Well, we've been arguing about this for almost 2 hours. For all the good it did us, he hasn't budged. What's the point of talking if you can't make any progress? Magdalene, could you speak to your father? Help him see things from our point of view. Why do I have to keep getting involved in disputes? I hate making choices. Father Thomas, I don't even know what you're all arguing about, or so in the end, I ran to get plans that you don't want to see, and now you want me to do something else for you? What is your point of view? Klaus has strong, very strong opinions on how the history of Tassing of Kirsau Abbey should be portrayed. And those portrayals may upset some of our neighbours. Isn't the real concern that it's going to upset the Lord? Isn't everyone really worried about him coming here someday and seeing the revolt memorialized on the wall? I mean, yeah, that seems a little bad. And when he said the Lord, I thought he meant, like, God. I didn't realize he meant, like, an actual nobleman. Yes, you keep saying that we all disagree with him. I don't think I do. Not entirely. Well, what do you think, Jorg? I know I'm not the smartest man in this room, but I know what happened to my own dad. I know what he did. It doesn't feel right to ignore what happened to him, what happened to Otto. Jorg. Look, you all knew my dad. I never had the chance. Aww. Oh, ouch, my heart. I don't want to make the people in this town angry. I don't want to make our Lord angry. None of us do, but maybe there's a way to tell this story in a way that's true without upsetting anyone. So, it's all very complicated, you see, Magdalene. tried to get him to consider a portrayal of our history that's a little less inflammatory. My father was deeply affected by the revolt. I don't think it's as complicated as you'll think, or so you want me to convince him to do what you say. I'm sure that will work. I don't know what to choose. Maybe my father was deeply affected. It won't be easy to convince him. The revolt was a major event for everyone in Tassing. I know how hard it was for him. We need to come to an agreement or call off the mural entirely. Wait, we saw Peter, right? But we didn't see the other one, the one who actually set fire to the Abbey. Like, what happened to him? And, like, there were a lot of soldiers stabbing people, so surely a lot of people died, too. He's been wanting to paint this mural for years. You can't tell him no all of a sudden. And help us, Magdalene. Your father will listen to you. Alright, I won't promise anything though, or fine, but only so he can paint it. I think I'm gonna side with my dad on this one. He's a cool guy. Now I'm going back home. This mess has already taken up too much of my day. Ooh, we have a new clock? Cool. Because we're not going by the, like, the calendar and the clock that the church were using anymore, I guess. Magdalene. Thank you for bringing the drawings to the rat house. I'm sorry it was a waste of time. Those men don't know what they want. When I tell them what I'm trying to do, they get scared. Then they talk and talk and talk. They talk all day and we're never any closer to a decision. I'm sick of it. Sick of the whole thing. Dad, I'm worried about you. Can you just start working on it? If they don't like it, they'll have to figure it out for themselves, or they'll probably stop arguing if you just propose something more predictable. I mean, like, I don't want to... I understand why he wants to do it. But I agree that having a mural of, like, a peasant revolt on the wall might upset a few people. And we're living in an era where the Lord can basically do whatever he wants. Maybe I'll just say they'd probably stop arguing if you just propose something more predictable. Of course, then what's the point of doing it? I've spent my whole life illustrating and printing other people's stories. For the first time, I feel like this is my story to tell. Aww. How am I supposed to convince him not to do it now? I didn't know it was so important to you. We hear all of these stories about what this place was, how it came to be. And it feels like history is something that happened before, happened to other people. 18 years ago, oh, it's been 18 years. We lived through something, you and I, everyone in Tassing. Everyone wants to forget about it, pretend it didn't happen. You don't. No, I don't. All those years ago, I did nothing. Oh, this game keeps hurting my heart. I was worried for you, worried for Benjamin and Rachel and Esther. Wait, who are they? I was so afraid that I'd lose you. I wouldn't have been able to bear it. In the end, so many people died anyway. Peter did die. And Ulrich and Andreas and all of the others. And we lived. Dad, everyone says it wouldn't have made any difference. If you and the others had fought, you would have died. I would have died. Maybe I could have stopped him from going to the mill. Or maybe we could have stopped the peasants from burning it down. But we'll never know. Is that what this is about, this mural? It's a chance to put something down in a place where everyone can see. If people start to forget, this will remind them. Oh, well now I've got to be on Team Dad, haven't I? After this speech, he's the one who convinced me, not the other way around. We were here, this happened. If I don't do it, who will? Yeah, you're right. I wish the men in the rat house saw me the way that you do. Aw, look at that dad smile. They'll come around. I hope so. All the arguing has left me beat. I'm going to bed early. Alright, I'm going to stay up for a bit and write a letter to who is this? Esther? I don't think I remember her. Good, please say hello to her from me. See, Magdalene remembers to write to people. And her parents. I know, Dad. Good night, Magdalene. I love you. Aw, I love them. How refreshing to see just like a healthy parental relationship. All this running around has left me tired too. It'll be nice to sit down at my desk and just write for a while. Alright. Can I write though? Is this not where I live? Oh yeah, here we go. So this is like my area of the house. Alright, where to begin? Ah, I should write to Esther. Dearest Esther. Ooh, I get to choose the letter. I hope you've been well, Autumn has reached us, or I hope you and your family are well. Dad sends his regards to your parents like usual. I mean, I did say I'd pass on his regards, so we'll do that one. I spent the last few days collecting oak galls with Sister Gertrude. I don't suppose you have the chance to do that in Prague. Sister Gertrude has been teaching me how to grind them into a smooth ink. It's difficult work, but you'll find no better ink anywhere in Bavaria. I'll send along a bottle with this letter. Oh, did I mention? Dad started a new project. Dude, I love this. Imagine having to, like, save up everything you want to say to someone and put it in one letter. Instead of just, like, impulsively messaging people on Discord. And, like, typing out whatever you think of in the moment. And then gradually spamming them with messages. That's how I usually communicate with people. If I tried to write a letter, I wouldn't remember all the things I wanted to say. He's painting a mural of Tassing's history in our new rat house to memorialize the revolt. The whole thing has me thinking about my own family history. Past, present, and future. And future? Ooh. I don't think I want to stay in Tassing forever. It's a quaint place to grow up, but I'm 20 now. Or, the printing shop has been in the family for years. I'm looking forward to taking it over. I want to take over the printing shop. Honestly, like, if I was living in this time, that would be my ideal job. Of course, Dad will keep running it until he can't pull the levers anymore. But I'll take over sooner or later. If I inherit the shop, I won't have to get married. Or, of course, the print shop will be more profitable than anything else my husband does. I want to get married. Let's do that one. Especially if I have to marry Otts, or even if I marry Otts. Especially if I have to. Even if I marry Otts. He's been courting me for some time now. Everyone in town knows we're a good match. And yes, before you break the nib off your pen, I will come visit you in Prague, I promise. I wonder, like, how influential those choices are. I'll try to make time to visit before winter. Life has been bustling here. I wonder what happened to Casper. Dad's been busy with the rat house mural, so I've taken over in the workshop. I'm sure it'll be a sight to behold once it's finished. Write back to me soon. All my love. Magda. Oh, Magda. She just signs it like that with her friends. But Mags is not allowed. Mags is the nickname we hate. That took me 2 hours. Alrighty, bedtime. Go to sleep. I wonder what the mystery is going to be for this act, though. Because clearly the thread puller is still alive. But Andreas was the only one who knew about it all. Well, I guess and Casper, right? Both of them did. Wait, what? Please don't be another murder. So many people have died. Dad? Magdalene? Wait, what? No. It is not going to be Klaus. Another... And our dad? After that bonding session that we just had? Game, come on. Magdalene. Wait, so we got that note saying stop, right? So it's clearly about the mural. What happened? Are you alright? You're bleeding. Yeah, that's a pretty nasty head wound. Someone came into the house. They hit me over the head. I'll go get Dr. Stoltz. Try not to move, Dad. Magdalene, it's not safe. Whoever attacked me. The wound is too deep for me to take care of on my own. We need Dr. Stoltz. Magdalene, be careful. I will. I'll be right back, I promise. My god. Do you know why anyone would want to attack you, Klaus? Oh, okay, so it wasn't a murder at least this time. It was just an attack. No, maybe someone didn't like one of the books I sold them. I think it was probably about the mural, right? Are you sure you didn't see a shadow and hit your head on the printing press? Come on, Jorg. You saw the workshop. Somebody was looking for something. Weird. What were they looking for? A burglar? In Tassing? That's preposterous. Okay, so they shook up the formula a little bit. They were like, alright, maybe having 3 murder mysteries in a row would be a little too on the nose. So we'll make the third one, like, an aggravated robbery. Or whatever. Well, if it wasn't an attack, what was it? Enough. It was a deliberate blow to the head. Unless any of you wish to debate my diagnosis. No, no, of course not. Wait, who is this guy, as I thought? Coming in with the attitude. Truthfully, Klaus, I'm surprised the blow didn't kill you. You have a strong skull. That's a weird compliment, but alright. It's a grave injury. Magdalene, you'll need to help take care of your father. I will, whatever I need to do. Good. Of course, the mural will have to be called off now. Klaus, you absolutely cannot get out of bed. I knew it! It's definitely about the mural. No, no, it has to be done. This is too important. Just give me some time to rest. I'll find a way to make it work. I don't think we need to cancel the entire project. Can't we just wait? Klaus, your health comes first. Anyway, we haven't even been able to agree on what the mural should be. Indeed, it might be best to abandon the entire idea. What? They're giving up so easily. With respect, Father Thomas, you are not on this council. What, this dude has an attitude problem. Yes, yes, just offering an opinion. I can paint the mural. Oh, hell yeah. Let's do it. What? Mags, quit joking around. You better be supportive of me, Mr. Future Husband. Well, I know you want to help your dad, but aren't you too young for something this big? Ooh, okay. I've been painting since before I could walk. I'm old enough to run the print shop by myself. I'm older than Otts and he's on the council and he doesn't even do anything. Or let's skip this debate. We all know I'm capable of doing this myself. Dad knows I'm capable. I mean, seeing as we've got this option because of the negotiating thing, we might as well go for that. Dot, dot, dot. If you don't trust Magdalene to do the mural, to hell with the lot of you. Aww. I love how close they are. Language. If you don't trust her, you don't trust me. I'll never do any work for this council again. He's being so supportive. Dot, dot, dot. Alright, I say we let her. It doesn't look like we have much of a choice. But does this mean whoever targeted our dad is going to come for us next? Very well. Okay, he's top of my suspect list right now. Alright, Magdalene, you can do it. But you still need to talk to who? About what you're doing, right? Or us. Of course, all fine, but I'm taking Dad's ideas into account. I'll just say of course. Thanks, Magdalene. Rest up, Klaus. I'll do my best, Jorg. I'm glad our dad at least survived the attack. Magdalene, just a moment. Yes, what is it? Your father is lucid right now, but his injury is severe. His current demeanor is misleading. Wait, what? What are you saying? Magdalene, there is damage to his brain. He may have a few weeks, maybe even a few months left. So it was a murder. It's just like a slow murder. But he's not going to survive. What? Can't we take him to see a surgeon? No, he can't be moved in this condition. In fact, he shouldn't move at all. Oh my god. Never mind. This is basically the same as a murder. Even if he could, I don't think the finest Italian surgeons would know how to deal with trauma like this. So he's just going to die? And there's nothing I can do about it? You can make him comfortable, and you can enjoy the time you have left. The time will run out before long. Aww. Hey, what did we do for that whole day that just passed? Dad needs to be able to see the mural in its finished form. Oh, so I have to try and finish the mural before he dies. Okay. But I don't know how much time he has left. Excuse me, I'm yawning. I'm getting sleepy. Werner said it could be a few months or... Aww. I'll pick up where Dad left off. He wanted to paint the history of Tassing from its earliest days to the revolt. I'll start with the earliest parts of Tassing's history, the pagan tribes and the Romans. Then I'll move on to the founding of the Abbey and Tassing saints. After that, I should find a way to represent our recent history. Depicting the revolt is important to Dad. People in Tassing might know some of the town's history, but not all of it. Awesome. That's the investigation then, is like figuring out who tried to kill our dad or like attacked him, and learning about the history of the town so that we can paint it, I guess. Dad said the library in Kiersau had those records. He was going to write to the last prioress to see if she had any information. I should write to her now while I'm thinking about it. Okie dokie, I'll do what I'm told. Alright, where to begin? Una. Oh my god, hi Geordie, how are you? Isn't it super late for you? Dad told me the last prioress at Kiersau knew something about the old history of Tassing. How's this game going? It's going well. Well, sort of well. It's like we've had a couple of murder mysteries, but the game hasn't confirmed if I got the culprit right or not. I'm doing good. I'm sort of getting ready for bed. Yeah, fair enough. I'm sure it must be like super late where you are. But yeah, so we I named a culprit for the last murder and I don't think I got it right, but then like a whole bunch of people died. And our character actually died, and now we're playing as someone new. And I'm trying to figure out what happened and whether or not I was right. But at the moment, I'm mostly just running around, like, finding clues and trying to figure things out. It's 1:28 a.m. That is so late. Bro, my friend just got raided by the XJAV star, Shibuya. Oh, I love her! The player character can die. Yes! I didn't think so, but we did. And I'm not sure if that's, like, if that has to happen. If that's, like, just part of the game, or if I really messed up. Yeah, I love Shibuya Kaho. What? Yes, at Santa Margarita, I should write to her. Alright, let's write this letter. Try and... Because our dad just got attacked, and he's, like, basically dying and lying in bed, and we're going to try and paint this mural. Una, how did you know that JV star off the top of your head? Stop. I don't know what you mean. That's not sus at all. 400 plus person raid? I don't even know what I would do in that situation. Even said hi in chat. That's amazing. What's a JAV star? Like Japanese porn, basically. Like live action, not hentai. Adult video. Japanese adult video, I think. Is that what it stands for? Yeah. Japanese adult video. Okay, I know Shibuya Kaho because she's the one who did some collabs with the Trash Taste guys, right? If I'm thinking of the correct person. So that's how I found out about her. Thought it was some music thing? No, no, no. She's so funny. I'm pretty sure I'm thinking of the right person. But I remember her talking to the Trash Taste guys about doing porn. And, like, how she would come up with puns to say in the middle of videos. Like, she's so funny. Sorry to interrupt. I was just fucking... No, no, thank you. That was important news. Oh, we are writing to Mother Illuminata. Let's say formerly prioress of Kirsau Abbey. We know who she is. My name is Magdalene Druckern. I do not believe we ever met, as I was very young when you left Kirsau. You're acquainted with my father. He bought many books from the library before that terrible fire consumed the place. Yeah, and we died trying to rescue the books. That was the stupidest way to die. I'm writing because my father and I are creating a mural in the Tassing Rat House. I'm going to tell the history of our community and of Kirsau as well. We have only legends and folklore, since of course all of Kirsau's books were destroyed in the fire. Didn't we rescue a book at one point though? What happened to that one? I was hoping you could tell us something about the early history of the town, when the Romans were here. If you know anything about the early history of the abbey itself, we would also be glad to hear of it. We would appreciate any help you could give us, and we hope you are well. Ooh. My father always spoke highly of you, especially how you cared for the sisters, how you cared for the library, piety and intellect. Or if you would not mind a personal question, was it hard to return to Italy after being here for so many years? Ooh. Maybe I'll go with how she cared for the sisters after the fire. God bless you, Magdalene. I have no idea, like, how impactful any of those choices are going to be. It didn't say this will be remembered, so maybe it's not, like, a super important choice. If I want to finish the mural before Christmas, I should start planning tomorrow. I should head to bed and get as much rest as I can. Should I investigate a little bit more, though? Or maybe, like, running around town at night by myself isn't the best plan. Is my dad okay? I thought they were, like, changing it up a little bit and we weren't going to have a murder this time, but they just went for, like, slow form murder instead. Magdalene. Hey Dad, how are you feeling? Can I get you anything? No, I'm fine. You go on. Alright, I'll come back and check on you later. Aww. I don't know, should I go and investigate? Does it say that I have anything to investigate in town at the moment? Oh, you got song requests set up? You mentioned that there was like a bot, right, for that in chat. Ooh, the abbey's like all scratched out because it burned down. Cool. Yeah, I might just go to bed actually. That's what the game's telling me to do, so. What bot do you use for the song requests? Yes, go to sleep. Or is it like a command thing actually? Because I think Stream Elements had some sort of command for that, but I can't remember how to use it. Nightbot has a song request tab. Oh, interesting. Wait. Are we skipping days? Yeah, we're like in November now. What? Is our dad still alive? That was way more time passing than I was expecting. Hello? The postman? Okay. Mistress Druckern, I have a few letters here addressed to you. Okay. Is this from, This will be in response to our letter, right? Mother Illuminata wrote back to me. I hope her response helps me paint the mural. Was I supposed to write to more people? Like, was I supposed to do other things before I went to bed? You open that tab in a browser, and then when someone in chat does the song request, it plays in that tab. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll get Nightbot as well then. I might see how Stream Elements does it, but if it's easier in Nightbot, then I might get Nightbot too. That was a lot of time passing. Yeah, that's making me nervous now that so much time passed, because maybe I was meant to do other things first? I don't know. I love how, like, her font is so fancy. Mistress Druckern, thank you for your letter. I hope this reply finds you and your father in good health. I mean, I remember you both, as your father would carry you between the rows of our library in its final years. I also remember your late mother and brother. God keep their souls. While we did have some books that discussed Tassing's past, it's likely they were as mythological as what your neighbors believe. That said, I remember one of the peasants, Tilman Kreutzer, read about the history of the town. I know he died during the revolt, but perhaps his family knows some of what he learned. Isn't that who Otto's widow married? She married into that family? I should also say that it's not true that all of Kirsau's books were destroyed by the fire. Andreas Mailer managed to save some from the flames. Wait, that's why our protagonist had to die rescuing books, so that in Act 3 there could still be some books for us to use. In the aftermath of that terrible night, cataloguing and preserving the surviving books was not at the top of any of our minds. Even so, this topic has stirred a memory within me. Several years before the fire, there was a death at Kirsau, the murder of Baron Rothvogel. Oh my god, it's all coming together now. He had mentioned something about finding a copy of Historia Tassiae, a comprehensive chronicle of your home. That's true, that never got resolved from Act 1. I'd forgotten about it until now, because the murder dominated all of our thoughts in the days and weeks that followed. It troubles me now because I recall that the late Father Matthias was also reading a copy of Historia Tassiae shortly before he died. We never accounted for either book's whereabouts. They may have been hidden somewhere in the library and went up with everything else. Perhaps Prior Ferenc took it from the Baron after the murder. Ferenc had an interest in books of all sorts, of course, but it seems like an odd thing to do in the moment. Then again, only God knows what he did and why he did it. Not for long, I'm going to figure it out. Niklaus Habele? Is that how you pronounce that? The Baron's manservant. Believed it may have been stolen by the town thief, Martin Boer. If Martin is still alive, I would ask him if he knows where the book is. Yeah, but Martin may not even be actual Martin, because we also never finished investigating that. Hopefully he didn't trade it for a mug of beer on his way out of Tassing. The sass. If the man has passed from this world, perhaps his family knows where the book wound up. I think Martin was still there. We saw him when I was just running around, right? As for the history of the Abbey, I fear that was also lost in the blaze. However, as sacristan, Prior Matthieu learned a great deal about the subject. I've not kept in contact with him, but I know that he is now the Archdeacon of Sion. He is no longer a Benedictine, but uses his family name. Oh my god, these names are so hard. Fosigny Sax? I don't know. If you write to him soon, your letter may reach him before snow covers Delays? Please convey my best wishes to your father. He was a good friend to the Abbey in its better years. Despite the violence that occurred, I hold no ill will toward anyone from Tassing. I pray that you have seen better days since that night, and that God forgives the many errors we made. Wait, what errors? Did I get it wrong? God bless you as well. Mother Illuminata, Abbess of Santa Margherita. Oh, and Esther wrote back. Imagine having to wait, what was that, like 2 weeks for a response to your message? My dear Magda, my parents were glad to hear from your father. Please tell him they wish to hear from him soon. Speaking of printing, your ink was well received indeed. I made several prints with it. They look lovely on the wall. Aw, what a cute friend. Elisha has taken to making his own ink from scraps he found around the house after he saw yours. That's awesome. Mother was furious when he spent several Phoenix trying to find lapis at the market. I take 2 weeks to reply because I forget. Fair. She set him scrubbing the floors for it. Took him 3 days. I only forget if I actually like read the message and then don't respond straight away. But if I don't read it, then like I hate having unread notifications on things. But I have to respond immediately, otherwise yes, I also will forget. I'm glad you're keeping busy, even though it keeps you from visiting. Also, didn't we establish that you don't like messaging at all? Father says we'll have room whenever you decide to make an appearance. I'm just kidding, I remember it was like only if you have to respond straight away. And if you do take over the shops in Tassing, you'll have to make visits to Prague for supplies. Who knows, maybe you'll meet someone here. So from the way you talk, it seems like you're a bit preoccupied with suitors in Tassing. No, just one. I've made a good match too. Oh yeah. Gossip, tell me now. There's a young man at the synagogue, Simond, who caught my eye. His father is a doctor and his brothers have all gone to university as well. I'd quite like to marry him. Aww. Anyway, I hope this Odds fellow and his mother don't give you too much trouble. You really ought to give men a chance, Magdalene. They can be quite sweet. We really are Belle from Beauty and the Beast, aren't we? At least the ones in the city here are. Please keep us abreast of your father's mural. We'll have to come see when it's finished. Blessings, Esther. Cute. I'll have to write Esther back tonight. I should head home and check on Dad. Hey Dad, how are you feeling? Magdalene. Sitting upright is still a struggle, I'm afraid. Oh, this is so sad. The dizziness makes my stomach turn, so I'd rather not eat at the moment. Oh. Are you sure? I can bring out something light, like milk or broth. No, I can't stomach anything just yet. But tell me, where are you off to? I need to get started on the first part of the mural today, the old history. Mother Illuminata didn't know much about Tassing's early history, but she did give me a few places to start. I'm going to ask Black Till if his grandfather told him any stories. Illuminata said he used to read about the Romans. Mother Illuminata... Oh, Mother Illuminata, Magdalene. Right, yes, Mother Illuminata. Oop, I didn't mean to do that bit. Young Kreutzer has mentioned those tales from time to time, yes. He comes by to borrow books now and then. Usually when he's found some interesting old ruin out in the fields. You might ask him about that. Ill Peter. I love that that's his nickname. Always harumphed. I haven't heard that word in ages, harumphed. About how no one paid attention to the old ways anymore too. That's true, that happened like right at the beginning of the game. I'm sure he'll have some stories to tell about old Tassing. You might stop to talk to him. I can hardly understand him these days. I'll just say thanks, Dad. Sure, I'll go talk to Il Peter. Of course, Magda. It's nice to feel useful, even if I'm stuck here in bed. Nonsense, I'm just glad you're awake. You might talk to Smokey, too. That's true, he got all the gossip before. That old charcoal burner seems to know more about what's in the woods around town than anyone else. That, and he's a known gossip. Yeah, exactly. That picnic that we had, that was amazing. He's always been kind to me. Yeah, sure. I'll be positive. Why not? Let's be nice to everyone. They'll be more likely to tell us things. You may hear something worth your while at any rate. I'll go talk to him. What about the ruins or the mines? I can't just use books and stories alone. I want to explore whatever is left over from the Romans and before. Are we going to get to go down into the catacombs again? And like the aqueduct and stuff? The salt mine and Roman ruins are the oldest parts of Tassing, so it only makes sense to see what they left behind. I love that the game is just like giving me a list of potential things to do. You take after your mother. She was always thorough in her research. You always said that's what good artists do, Dad. Be careful, alright? I know the twins mess around near the salt mine, but I don't want you getting hurt. I don't know why York doesn't keep them in line. Always making trouble, those two. Classic twin behavior. I'm just kidding. Don't worry, I'll be careful. They don't have brains. Wait, they don't have brains enough to keep out of trouble? That's what happens when you name your kids after pagan gods instead of saints? No, I'm not going to sass them. I don't even know them. I'll just say, don't worry about me, Dad. I'll be careful. Good. I still need you to run the press for a little longer after all. Don't forget your other chores while you're running around town, alright? We still have a household to run. Dude, we have so much to do. Sigh frustratedly. No, don't worry, I'll get everything done. That's my girl. I'd better get going if I want to do all of that today. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get to all of that in one day, are we? Surely at some point we're going to have to choose something that, like, makes time pass. So we'll have to, like, pick between activities. I don't know. Go to the map. Yeah, there's so many different things that we talked about doing. Oh well. I might go start with the, was it Kreutzer family? seeing as they're close. Oh, there's Otz. Should we talk to him? Try and get this romance going? Hey, Mags. We told him so many times that we hate that nickname. Got your way with the mural, huh? I didn't expect you to convince the council like that. Well, you see, I picked the haggling trait, so wasn't that hard, actually. I can be pretty stubborn when I want to. Clearly, I'm impressed. Aww. The rest of the council has been arguing over the matter for so long. Even I couldn't get a word in. Then you come in and shut them up in a few minutes? We could use more women like you in the town. Sorry, but I'm not like other girls. There are plenty of opinionated women in town want to let us join the council. Well, you'd have to take that up with the Lord. Besides, I don't think any of them are as hard-headed as you. Aw, you're the exception, Magdalene. You always are. What a cutie. I ship them so hard. Clearly you've forgotten about Agnes. No, I'm just going to say, you really think so? Well, yeah. I wouldn't tell you that otherwise. You're an admirable woman. Aw. He's trying to flirt so hard. Anyway, standing up to the council like that was great. I know I'm on the council, but sometimes it doesn't seem like I have any influence. Ooh. Oh, I got a little thought bubbly thing. Watts actually seems insecure about his place on the council. He may be an ass sometimes, but I don't like to see him upset, or he's always poking fun at me too. No, I'm not going to bully him over something he's actually insecure about. Maybe I should reassure him. So, you do though you vouched for me, or you are the youngest member? Nah, I'll go for the first one. You vouched for me to do the mural in the first place. Only after your dad did. Okay, well I tried, buddy. I still feel bad about that. I should have stuck up for you. Aww. Being the youngest one on the council has been harder than I thought. I know Baltus and Werner don't think I'm capable, and even Paul has warned me about being too rash. My dad died trying to make a difference in this town. R.I.P. Otto. Best boy. All I'm trying to do is carry on his legacy, but it seems like the others won't make room for any change. Keep pushing Ox, they're stuck in the past. You sound like my dad. He always said the council was scared of doing anything. I don't think anything's going to change. Let's be positive, I think. Keep pushing Ox, they're stuck in the past, but we're looking forward toward the future of Tassing. Thanks, Mag. Magdalene. Oh, he corrected himself. He's learning. It'll take time, but maybe they'll listen to me eventually. Maybe. Oh well. Better get back to it. Cute. This is where I'm meant to go, isn't it? Fruit's house? Yeah, Black Till. Do you have a moment? Of course. What do you need? What says you've been obsessed with your painting? Hey, I have other interests too. Oh, Otz is just jealous that I spend more time with the mural than I do with him. Nah, I think I'm looking into the early history of Tassing for the first part of the mural. Mother Illuminated said your grandfather read about the history of the town. Ah, fertile fields, that is. Seemed like old potsherds and Latin trivia were all he ever talked about. All of Granddad's reading came from the Abbey's library, though, and you know what happened there. Poof, up in smoke. I remember I was there. She was a baby, as if she remembers that. So you don't have any of his old books? Only a few. Granddad tried to buy some when the Abbey fell on hard times, but they were too expensive. But I can show you something better than books. Oh? Ayo? Evidence? What? Anything would help, or don't keep me in suspense. Something like that. Huh? See, we don't have any books on the old pagans, but we do have their stuff. Interesting. Shards of ceramic pots and animals, bricks from what looked to be an old forge, Mountains of salt. Even found a little bear carved from amber. That's awesome. Where did you find all this stuff? Not just me. Carl finds things. Fabian too. Any farmer would tell you the same. It's all out there in the fields under the dirt. Can't go one season without turning up something. It's amazing. Even a little bear made of amber. Where are you keeping these things? Nowhere. We just toss them in piles with the rest of the rocks and root clumps? They belong in a museum. Sure, it's interesting, but we can't do much of anything with the stuff except look at it. You can sell it to a museum. What do you think it all means? I don't follow. How do you think these people lived? What do you think they were like? Or where do you think they all went? I mean, that's actually a good point. I expect a lot of them were killed by the Romans. Or each other. We find bones too. Ooh. Like human sacrifice? No. Feels more like skirmishes or regular burials. They're arranged all nice, or else in big clumps. All mixed up with spearheads and axes and shields. Not so different from today, really. Earlier you mentioned something about salt. Did the pagans start the mine? Had to have, I'd say. Most people think it was a Roman project, but I think the Romans just dug out what was already there. That's so cool. Imagine living in a town with like that much ancient history. That's why tassing was so important to the Romans in the first place. Salt. So tassing wasn't just on the Imperial Road, they made the road come through tassing. What does the little, like, magnifying glass thingy mean? Do you think there's anything left of the pagans down there? I don't know, but anything they've left would have to be better preserved than what we dig out of the fields. ... Magdalene, tell me you aren't thinking of going down there. I'm absolutely thinking of going down there. I can try and lie and say I'm definitely not thinking of going down there. That's so sus, no way. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna learn my lesson from Act 2 and not lie. What if there's stuff that could help me with the mural? Magdalene! That mine is hundreds of years old. You could break your neck just getting in there. This will be remembered? It's worth it for the mural? What did I just do? I want to try my best for Dad. Stop, that's so ominous. Whenever it says this will be remembered, I'm like, why? I didn't even think that much about that choice. I just clicked the first one. Like, what? Like the first one I saw. Imagine how your dad would feel if you got hurt. He's gonna be dead in like a week. Ooh, persuade Black Till to help you with the mine. Haggle background. Gives me a boost. Dedicated to the mural's success. And wanted Dad to be proud of the mural. Okay, so I chose correctly then. Never mind. Then help me get down safely and he won't have to worry. You're bullheaded just like your mother. I don't even remember this dude. How did he know me so well? And your father. Probably couldn't keep you out of there if I tried. ... Please, Till. Alright, alright. Don't know how to get down there myself, but I know those twins have gotten in a time or two. No doubt they have a trick. Boltus might not be the most reliable man, but I don't doubt he could rig something up for you too. Hell yeah, I'm ready for an expedition in the salt mines. It sounds awesome. Thank you, Till. Don't mention it. I'm serious, don't. Oh, do you know what this reminds me of though? This reminds me of like way back in Act 1 when Andreas was a young man, an apprentice. And he was like trying to convince Otto, literally in this exact same spot, in this house, talking to Otto, trying to convince him to go grave robbing. The whole conversation is giving me the same vibes. It's happening in the same place. This is so cute. If I want an expedition in the salt mines, I just play DVD, so much salt. I bought DVD and I've downloaded it, but I haven't actually played it yet. I want to though. This has been a big help. Glad to spread some knowledge around. Important for folks to know their past. I agree. You think all this pagan stuff will make it in the mural? I can bring some of the things the boys and I found over to the rat house tomorrow if that'd help at all. He's so helpful. What? That would be great. I don't know enough about the plot of this game to notice the small storyline stuff like that, but that sounds really cool. Yeah, I mean, aside from, like, us dying trying to rescue books, which I think I understand why they did it, but it did feel a little weird. And, like, there were some things about his character that I didn't feel like got resolved. But, like, apart from that, I've been really impressed with the story. And, like, their attention to detail. Is his granddad still alive? I should warn you, if you do head into the forest, keep an eye out for the Lord's men. They're strict, worse now than they used to be. I'll be careful. Well, that was a fruitful conversation. Who else can I talk to? Eva? Hello, Eva. Magda, darling, Otz isn't here, I'm afraid. She already knows. She knows they're gonna end up together. Oh, alright. Oh, that's alright. I can find him later if I need to. I think he wandered off toward the rat house. Something about the council, but if you ask me, I think he's looking for you. Cuties. I love that we can be so mean to him though as well. I'm not going to be mean. That's sweet of him. He has been dropping by the rat house more often as of late. He's quite fond of you. I'm surprised he has any time to visit though. He's always working on town council business these days. And he's still working at mastering carpentry too. Oh, that's what Otto did! I suggested a few years ago that he take up an apprenticeship, but he was determined to remain in Tassing. I think he's more comfortable here, even if that means he'll never be the craftsman Otto was. Aww. I help him how I can, but there's only so much I know how to do. Besides, I think he feels like he's taking care of me, instead of the other way around. Funny how time does that. It's good of him to stay. I think Dad misses Mum. I'm not going to ask her if she misses Otto. That's such a heavy conversation. And I think I said before that I was happy to stay in Tassing, so I'm not going to say that I would jump at the chance to leave. I'll just say it's good of him to stay. I'd worry that you'd be lonely otherwise. Oh, even if he had gone, I wouldn't be alone. I have Mum and Jorg and the rest of the family to help take care of. Wait, so she's not remarried? Then what is Blacktail doing in this house? Huh? Besides, they keep me busy. I'll never want for anything with Otz and the community here in Tassing. I miss my husband, but I'm proud of Otz. He's growing into a capable young man. Aw, this is so wholesome. I'm excited to see him grow into a husband and father. He'll make a wonderful partner. She's advertising her son. She's like, yes, I get the feeling he'd make for a great husband and potentially a father. She even said he'll make a wonderful partner. She didn't even say potentially to the person who marries him he'd be a wonderful partner. Whoever he marries will be a lucky woman. It's about that time to start finding a match too. Look at her face as well. She's setting us up so hard. It's wonderful that God blessed Endress with a wife at last. Oh, he did get married! Good. But I'd rather not have Otz be in his position. Better to marry earlier while he can raise a family. Not even subtle, I know, right? Oh yeah, she just wants you to be together. I mean, to be fair, it's a small town. There aren't that many options. She's probably like, I want to snag the good choice before she gets snapped up by someone else. Anyway, I'm sure you have things to do. I'll let you get back to them. Always good to see you, Magda. You too, Eva. Cute. Alrighty. Where else do we have to go? Martin Boa. I wonder if he hid the book somewhere before he left. We can go and investigate that. I want to know more about Martin. I feel like I've absolutely, like, messed up every choice to do with him so far. I know, like, nothing about the man, even though he's been, like, a consistent major character. Magdalene, how are you keeping? I'm eager to continue work on the mural. Yeah, I have so much to do before Christmas. I'm certain it'll be the pride of Tassing when you're through. This game is so intriguing, but I'm falling asleep. Oh, no, that's okay. You don't have to keep watching if you need to go to bed. It's so late for you guys. I'm honestly gonna stop in a minute anyway because I'm also getting sleepy. Have a good night, you too. And thank you for stopping by and watching and chatting and stuff. 3 a.m? Oh my god, yes, go to bed. You've always had your mother's talent for art. And how is your dad? Because my throat's also getting kind of sore from reading out all the lines. Like 3 hours is as much as I can do for a game where I have to do a lot of reading. So I was just thinking I'm gonna wait and like get to a spot where it saves, and then I'll probably end anyway. So you won't miss much. You're one of the only people who've asked how I'm doing before asking about my dad, or his mind is fading. I pray for him every night. As do I. God knows what your dad means to this town, and what you mean. Aw, she's so nice. In some ways, after the revolt, you became everyone's daughter. Practice for becoming an audiobook voice. Oh my god, I could never. Or at least if I did, I'd have to like do it in parts. Oh, I feel more like a thorn in everyone's side. Nah, that's a sweet idea. I wish the council saw it the same way. I mean, I'd assume they do. They'd have to, surely. You can't do like 8 hours of speaking non-stop. Although, I mean, I guess like Fox has done like 12-hour streams before. And you have to talk a lot while you're streaming. My throat would be dead before the end. Oh, what? They don't mean anything by it. They love you, Magda, but they're worried about pleasing the Lord. It's not fair to you, but it is what it is. I hope Dr. Stoltz is taking his responsibilities to your family seriously. Wait, what? What responsibilities? As in to, like, take care of my dad? I remember when my dad fell. We cared for him best we could, but those few months before he passed were a tough time for everyone. But I believe God will pull your dad through, whatever the doctor says. We need him. Aww. Have you thought about what you'll do if your dad doesn't come through this? I'd have to get married. I mean, yeah, probably, right? Wait, maybe the little magnifying glass comes up when there's something that I can say because of investigations that I did before. That would make sense, right? But you're a good girl, Magda. There are any number of families in Tassing who'd be happy to take you. Aww. You have someone in mind, don't you? She knows. I promise you, I do not. Nah, I'm going full steam ahead on this romance with Otz. He seems cute. He's about as subtle as his father. God rest Otto's soul. I miss him. I wish I got to meet him properly, I mean. He made an impression, that's for certain. Oh, the girls around town knew better than to moon after him, though that didn't stop some of us. He was Eva's from the start. Aww. They were so cute. As Otz appears to be yours. Stop. They're doing too many mirrors from like the beginning of the game. It's making me all sentimental. But if nothing ever comes of that, know that you're always welcome in my family. Everyone's so nice. Kraft's a nice, hard-working boy. He's got a sharp mind. He can provide for a family. Are you trying to set me up with your son? And you blame your mother for trying? You're a good, respectable girl, Magda. Any family would be lucky to have you as a daughter. Aww. I'm not going to consider it. I don't mean to be rude, but I prefer to decide in my own time. Alright, I'll let it lie. You know, not every marriage may start off on solid footing. That's true, her and Martin were like struggling in the beginning. If you pray and work and trust in the Lord, you can find it in time. Believe me. Yeah, Martin's personality completely flipped. If it's not working out, how can you be sure a couple belongs together? He brings people together for a purpose. We don't need to understand it, only to have faith in Providence. In any case, I should get back to the chores. Remember what I said. Whatever happens, you're always welcome in my home. That's nice. Oh, before I forget, I actually had a question about an old book. Martin is supposed to have stolen it from that baron who was killed years ago. Do you know what happened to it? Oh. I hope this doesn't get me into any trouble, but I still have it, hidden in a drawer. No, that's not gonna get you into trouble. That's actually super helpful. Martin left it behind when he ran off. He went to all the trouble to take it, but didn't bring it along. Martin was a thief, but he wasn't stupid. I'm sure he realized no one would believe that he'd come by the book honestly, so he couldn't sell it. Why'd you keep it? My homemade chips look amazing. Oh, they sound amazing. What was I supposed to do? The Baron was killed soon after, and there I was holding a stolen book. Yikes. I didn't want Martin to get in any more trouble than he was already in. I never read it, though. I don't read well. I'm gonna have pizza for dinner. I'm excited for that. I could take it off your hands. No one would ever know you kept it. ... I trust you to be true to your word, Magda. I'd like to have nothing more to do with it, to be frank. It reminds me of difficult times. A stolen book of a dead nobleman in our home. Perhaps it spoiled our milk and turned our eggs all these years. Here you are. Please don't tell anyone I had this. Ah, Historia Tassi... He really did steal the book. The book that I was looking for. Oh, it's in Latin. I can understand a few words and phrases. I'll take a closer look in the evening. Hell yeah. I told you, knowing other languages, so handy. Thank you, Brigida. You've been a big help. Of course, Magda. Be well now. God bless. Did that just save? Can't tell if that just saved or not. Cool. So we found the book. Can we talk to Martin as well? Oh, we can. Morning, Magdalene. How's Klaus? Enduring. Even when his speech is slurred, he keeps a cheerful heart. I don't know what life would be like without him. Klaus is a good man, Magdalene. Tassing is a better place thanks to him. He's one of the few in Tassing who hasn't been on my back all this time. What do you mean? Don't pretend like you haven't heard. Townsfolk have whispered shit about me for years. So what if I occasionally get into a few brawls? I'm an honest man. Bro, are you though? I wasn't involved with what happened to Otto Zimmerman. I supported his cause. I pulled my weight around here, tilled the soil, salted the meats, provided for Brigida and Kraft. I've done enough back-breaking work for this family. Can't a man just have a damn rest? I believe you, Martin. You seem like you could use a respite. Damn right. I'm gonna butter him up a little bit because I feel like he's got some juicy information and I want him to talk to me. Right, I've lost enough time to this as it is. Time for you to go. Well, that was a bit rude. Never mind. Can I, like, investigate the empty house? No. Actually, where did the game tell me I need to investigate? So I found the book. So I should sit down and read it. But I feel like when I went to the map, there were other things that I can investigate first. Because I feel like if I sit down and read it, that's going to make time pass. Wait, where am I? Oh, I'm here. Okay, let's go to the Gertner farm. I don't think I need to talk to any of these people. Who were the Gertners? Oh, they were the ones that I stayed with in the beginning. That's right, I've got to talk to Il Peter and try and, like, pass what he's saying. Hello, Peter. Can I talk to you for a moment? What's that? Can I talk to you for a moment? No, I was wondering if you could tell me some of the stories of Tassing. Oh? The old tales, Cough. It's been so damn long since anyone had a thought to ask me about what I know. Aw, you can tell me all your stories. There's still a few of the old tales knocking about in this skull. Are there any myths from even before the Romans came to Tassing? Of course there are. The Romans weren't the first ones to live here, you know. There are spirits older than the saints that live in these woods, older than the Romans. They protected Tassing before St. Moritz ever set a blessed foot in town. Ooh. What sort of spirits? Wait, remember when we saw a ghost? And that was never, like, resolved or addressed? Thought that I'm getting at. Didn't your father teach you patience, Magdalene? Cough, cough. He must be like 110. It's Perchta and her wild hunt that scared them evil ones away. They've protected Tassing since its founding day. Long before those Romans, our ancestors roamed these mountains under a great chieftain called Raetus? Wait, isn't Raetus a Latin name? Eh? The ending on his name is the masculine singular ending common on most male Roman names. Plenty of names end with the same letters. Doesn't make them Latin, does it? I love him. Now quit your yammering and listen. Both weren't as kind as they are now, and the tribes fought one another for the best land. The old chieftain was a yellow-bellied coward who neglected the old gods. He was too proud to make offering. Sounds like a dick. Because of him, the gods favoured other tribes, and Raetus's people had no law to call their own. No land, sorry. Instead, they wandered through these mountains and valleys, hunting and gathering what they could to survive. One day, when winter was approaching, Raetus went hunting and found a wounded wolf tangled in a trap. But instead of killing the beast, as most men would, he helped the beast and loosed it from its bounds. Ooh. Was the wolf a spirit in disguise? Heh, of course not. Wolves are wolves, girl. Okay, well, that's not as obvious as it sounds, considering what we've just been talking about. He helped the doggo, he did! Spirits don't need the skins of animals for their power. Still, you've got the sense of the thing. The old gods are keen to repay favours done, and Perchta is the goddess of the wild hunt. The wolves are her animals. She leads the wild hunt, and the wolves lead the hunts of the forest. Back in my day, folk knew it was bad luck to kill a wolf. Now I'm the only one who remembers these things. Perchta saw Raetus's actions and took favour on him and told the wolf to lead the chief to her sacred spring. Raetus led his people to the spring and claimed it for his homeland, and we've been in this valley ever since. Then those goddamn Romans came and destroyed everything. But you see, there were other gods protecting this place before St. Moritz. It's why a few of us still honour Perchta. She protects us against witches and fiends. Ooh. It's a wonderful story, perfect for the first part of the mural. Good, good. Nice to know I can still be of some use in this town. Aww. Honestly, I would love to just sit there and, like, listen to his stories. That sounds awesome. What about the Romans? Do you know any Roman legends of Tassing? Roman legends? Pah. I don't bother with stories from outsiders or tales of gods that aren't our own. The Romans did nothing... What did the Romans ever do for us? The Romans did nothing but conquer our people and destroy this town. We spent generation after generation building Tassing back up from those days. And still, our traditions keep dying, with no one to carry them on. That's why I want to know, Peter. These stories need to be on the mural. The mural, Fine, fine. But I don't know any of the old Roman shit. He's my favourite. Alright, alright. I have a lot to think about. Thank you for sharing your stories with me, Peter. At least someone wants to listen to me. He's my new boy, right? That's exactly what I was just thinking. He's got big Otto energy as well. I feel like this is what Otto would have been like if he had grown old and grumpy. I'm tired. Talking so much has made my jaw ache. Dude, I know the feeling. I'll leave you to rest then. She really said God bless you to a pagan. Alright, where else do I have to go? I like you as a narrator, especially in this setting. Really? What's that one? Up in the town. I mean, thank you, but I don't like normally do lots of speaking thingies, so uh where are you, Balthazar? Where does Balthazar live? I'm lost. Where am I here? Oh, okay, so I've got to go up there. In North Town. Wait, oh, no, wait, I want to go back and talk to that kid. I was like, why can I hear a kid giggling? And then I just saw them behind the plant pot. Or whatever that pot is. Mag, I'm hiding. Okay, never mind. I saw nothing. I heard nothing. This way. The buildings are so pretty. I grow humans in pots. I don't think that's something you should be admitting. In a public forum. Who is this? Look at that chest hair. Okay, if this is Beauty and the Beast, he's Gaston. Balthazar's workshop. Oh, he's the inventor. Magdalene. Yes? Stare nervously. That's my reaction to anyone speaking to me IRL. Just stares nervously. The cinnamon just arrived for the beer. But cinnamon in beer? Isn't that a spice? Yes, with many wonderful properties. This green sword is an international sign. No one can touch me. What, the mod sword? The copper pots you helped me pipe are part of the process. Oh, you mean for you can't get cancelled for growing humans in pots? I see. Yes, it's because you're a mod. I mean, I can, though. I can unmod you. Mod ban. Oh, I thought it was for something more serious. Magdalene, making beer is quite serious. Oh no, don't worry, I won't. Anyway, it's for the Christmas celebration. Already? We're barely into November. The wheel of time stops for no man. Okay, I take it back. I also love Balthazar. But it's going to be wonderful. I love his energy. Cinnamon, coffee from Ethiopia, cacao from the New World. Wait, what? I can't read that. Jesu Christu, Achaha Danaru Fasitutu. That was my best attempt at that. I don't even know what language that is. Jesus Christ, he who has the money can do everything. Problem? Of course not. It's your money. ... Anyway, I'm quite excited about it. He's like, you're the one paying for it. And he's like, anyway. Clearly. As such, alchemy is not normally my strong suit. And for all of Nazu's complaints about the cost, the base rye we're using is free. Really? Wait, who is this guy? Are they a couple? Farmers had so much rye this year, they just couldn't use it all. Brett made as much bread with it as she could, but she wound up having to throw a lot out. So why not make beer? I mean, the logic is flawless. Yes, why not? Nod vaguely. I wish you the best of luck with it. Thank you. Do you know Tassing's salt mine? I need to find a way in. Any chance you could help me? To get into the salt mine, yes? You must be quite the adventure. Ideally, we could rig up a double pulley system to lower and raise you into the shaft. But that might take a while. Well, I would like to go in today, if possible. Of course. Would a good length of rope suffice? You could brace against the wall of the mine shaft. Are you strong enough to support your own weight? No? Against the wall? I think so. Excellent. Thank you, Baltus. Oh, so Baltasar is Baltus. Okay. Makes sense. Of course. Here you go. Do be careful, though. Make sure the ropes are secure. Alright. So we now acquired rope. Who is this guy? Ciao, Magdalene. Okay. He's just vibing with his chest hair out. Why not? Alright, where else do I have to go? Out to Tassing. Oh, that's right. I've got to go see Old Smoky in the charcoal burner, and go to the mine. Ooh. Why is it lit up around the entrance to that abbey? Does that mean I can go in that way? Like, even though I'm sure I could figure out more things from talking to everyone else, I don't think the game is gonna save until I, like, hit the next checkpoint. And if I go around and talk to everyone, I'm gonna be here for, like, another 2 hours before it saves, so... where am I headed again? Passing... Oh, the forest, that's right. Even though I really want to just wander around. I want to go in the inn as well. But I'll wait. I'll be good, I'll stay focused. Forest, here we go. Wait, hello? Apollo? What are you doing just wandering around the woods? Hey, Magdalene. Hello, Apollo, what are you doing? Looking for frogs? I said he's Frog Boy. Artemis says she saw one the other day and we're trying to collect a bunch. What do you need the frogs for? Like I'll tell you, you'll snitch. What? What is he planning to do with these frogs? If you don't tell me, maybe I will snitch. Your mother won't be happy to hear about whatever you're up to. Artemis always says Mum doesn't care. Mum yells, but that's about it. Sorry, Magdalene. I can't risk this one. Try asking Artemis. What is this whole, like, frog mystery subplot? The key to salvation, the Great Frog Plague of 1543? What? What is that, like, quest title? The Great Plague? Alright, let's chat to Smokey. He'll know what's up. Good day, Mr. Struckerin. I told you, Smokey. Call me Magdalene. Old habits, I suppose. What brings you to my corner of the woods? More gossip? Hell yeah. Yes, actually, but first I want to ask you about the mines. Only ancient gossip. I'll ask him about the mines first, I think. Maybe I'll get to ask him other things. Mines? Is this a new interest of yours, Magdalene? I don't see the townsfolk trick out there as much anymore. Last I saw were those two twins making trouble. They know a way in, but I'll be damned if I ever set foot close to that place. What are you so interested in over there? The mural in the rat house needs a section about the earliest days of Tassing. The mines are the oldest part of Tassing, and you keep a keen ear. I thought you might have heard something. I don't know about getting down into the mines, but I do know a fair few stories about them, and the other Roman ruins around here. The old stories my father used to tell me when he was the burner of Tassing. The one about Mars and Tassia, the nymph, was always my favourite, so I blame that on my youth. Oh, so he's the one who knows the Roman myth. So we've got the pre-Roman pagan myths. Now we've got to get the Roman stories. Tassia, like Tassing? Folk named the town after a pagan god, a Roman one at that. I don't mind telling you the tale, Magdalene, but I warn you, it's a bit bawdy. It's a lewd story. No, I want to hear those parts. Oh, count me curious. I won't be scandalizing you. Can't have your father hounding me for any coarseness. But I'll tell the decent bits of what I remember. Oh man, don't censor it. Ugh, everyone excludes me from the fun. You'll have your fun in time, Magdalene. You just wait and see. Wait, what? Why do you make that sound ominous? This is now an automate game? Hell yeah. I mean, I already have at least 2 potential suitors, so... Alright, so what's the story? Well, legend says that Mars was hunting in these woods and spied a fat boar for the taking. He'd just pulled back his spear when he heard a woman scream in terror. Of course, the creature ran off, and the god was angry at the loss of his quarry. So he tramped through the woods to see why a woman was in the forest and not in the local town. Women aren't allowed in forests, what? But I go into the forest all the time. Now why would a god be hunting in Tassing's forest? How should I know? Maybe he just wanted a brisk walk. Besides, why should anything the gods do make sense? These were the old days, when spirits and ghosts prowled. Sounds dope. What do you mean prowl? You're just trying to scare me. Ghosts aren't real. I need more facts. I'm gonna lean into the story. This is awesome. What do you mean proud? Proud, you know, like spirits and other evil things do. I can't just say they walked through the forest like you or me. They prowled. He's like, I said it for dramatic effect. Alright, keep going. So, Mars found a nymph, Tassia, bathing in a spring with a fat, ugly satyr goading her from the shore. Ew! Enraged at seeing the trapped nymph, Mars transformed into a wolf and slew the satyr. And in return, well, I too am going to sleep. That's totally fair. It's so late for you. I hope you sleep well. Good night, and thank you for hanging out. It was fun. Yeah? What does that mean? Wait, so he rescued her from the satyr and then they slept together? Is that what he's implying? Tassia bathed the god? Okay. That's what the kids are calling it these days. Huh, I get it. They bathed. I did warn you, Magdalene. When Mars left the pool, he dripped onto the ground and it blossomed with flowers and crops. They say that's why this valley is so fertile. Emphasis on the word fertile. We've been growing crops here for generations. People want a reason for that. That might be tricky to paint on the mural. Whatever the reason, Tassing's been blessed with fertile ground for hundreds of years. So much of what the Romans left behind was destroyed over the years, but I like that we still have these tales. You can never really destroy stories, as long as there are people to tell them. Of course, the Romans left a hell of a lot behind too. The town is more Roman than Bavarian, really. What should I say? Because of how long? Or... Oh right, the town was named after Tassia the nymph. That, and how much of the town is built upon the Roman foundations. Tassing is actually much smaller now than it was in the Romans' day. At least that's what I make of it. The ruins go deep into the forest, and all the way to the old mine. Half of Tassing is built on Roman stone. Take a walk around town and you'll start noticing things. We used their stone to build. The old temple by Sage's shrine has grown over, but the aqueduct runs for miles. Even the abbey used to be an old Roman fort. You can see some of the Roman gravestones under the road if you look hard. We may not be Roman, but this town is. Interesting. Tassing has been built upon itself for hundreds of years. What a beautiful idea. The way of things, most people don't notice the old stones. Too busy in town to notice what's right in front of their eyes. Maybe I should go take a look at the mine. I'd get a better sense of what things were actually like. Nothing will stop you, I see. Well, I won't either. Just keep an eye for any wolves or satyrs you might see down there, eh? Okay, thanks. You're still not going to spook me, Smokey. Worth a try, though. Good luck, Magdalene. Be safe. That was cute. Where else do I have to go before I go down the salt mine? Or is that all of them now? Oh, I think I've done them all. They kept mentioning the twins, but I don't know where the twins are, so... Aw, there's a piggy. A pig out here. It must have broke out of its pen. I wonder who it belongs to. Oh. Maybe that'll be important later, I don't know. This gave me this rope to climb down, but it might take a while. Should I go now? Wait, wasn't I meant to be going with someone? Or should I just go down? Let's just go down. Let's do it. What's the worst that could happen? I mean, it could break and I could get stuck down there. Death. Oh no. I'm sure it'll be fine. Snap? Oh, I hope not. Ooh, this is cool. Splat? No! I feel like I'm not... Like, the other people have definitely been down here because there's like a little lantern thingy. What a coinky dink. So handy. Oh, okay. It just saved. Achievement. Look before you climb. Get assistance climbing down the mine shaft. Nice. Even though this is very exciting and I want to know what's down the salt mine, my throat is very sore and I'm hungry, so I'm going to leave it there. And then next stream, we can explore the mine shaft, which will probably be the same time next week. But I haven't figured out my schedule for next week yet. My next stream is tomorrow morning at 9 AM my time. I'm going to be streaming Genshin Impact, actually, for the first time. Have a good one. You too. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching with me. This game is a lot of fun, and it's fun to be able to, like, share it with people. So, yes, I think, like, this is the final act, right? So, not long now. I like this one a lot. Yeah, me too. So yeah, tomorrow morning I'll be playing Genshin. And then Friday I'm going to be playing Overwatch, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do next week. But definitely I'll play this one again. I want to know what's happening. And I'm kind of enjoying just like filling in the gaps with the lore and stuff like that with all of this research. And it does feel like this mural is kind of tying all of the different threads together. Dude, I haven't played Overwatch in ages. I know, I was playing it so much, and then the past few weeks I've been... Like, I've played a few games here or there, but, like, not as much as I was playing it. Although I just bought a Moira skin today, which I'm very excited about. Finally, I have a skin for my Moira. I'm gonna check to see if anyone's streaming, but usually there's no one left at this time of day, unfortunately. But I'll see who's on. Oh, Arundel's on. Oh, but she's got so many more viewers than me. I'm not gonna raid her. Yeah, no, I think I'm just gonna end it there for today. You can raid Del if you want. No, I'd be shy. Maybe another time. I might go watch Del though. But for now, I'm just going to end the stream here. Thank you everybody for showing up and watching and hanging out with me. She had the Kahoot raid. Yeah, exactly. I can't follow that. She had, what was it, like 400 people or something? One day. I will raid Del, but not today. Tonight, I'm just gonna go get some dinner now. But yeah, everyone, I hope you have a good night or day or whatever time it is for you, and I'll be back tomorrow for some Genshin. See ya!